Everybody, and welcome to F1 Tonight, Netherlands Season 6, Race 14 here at Monza, and joining me in the commentary box, as always on a Thursday night, is my esteemed colleague, Adrian Stats Rich. Good evening, Adrian.
Evening, Eddie. Evening. What a pleasure to be here.
Oh, what a pleasure it is indeed. And we are in Bella Italia for the Monza Grand Prix, round 14. A nice track this, isn't it? Well,
it can be.
Well,
most of the time.
Sometimes. From I think last season it was pouring down with rain, if I remember rightly. Okay, so let's get straight in it. Let's have a look at this Drivers' Championship as it stands at this moment in time. So leading the way is Nicky Visser on 180 championship points. Second is Demi Hartmann on 166. Third is Boy Williamson on 146. Fourth, Baz Den Brand on 137. Fifth is Hans van der Berg on 128. 6, Marcel Dronik. 7, his teammate Zander Hermans. 8 is Sil de Wit. 9, Guido Urschen. 10 is Yul Tyson. Then in 11, we have John Dunkel. 12, his teammate Mark Stappers. 13, Peter Phillips. 14, Jamie Collane. 15, Nishay Mahadwa Singh. 16 is Paul Correa. 17, Martin Parder Cooper. 18, Miguel Torney. 19 is Harry. It's Harry Cup. And 20 is Marcel France. It's still looking pretty tight at the moment in this championship, isn't it?
God, not as tight as your underpants just then.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that one.
But yeah, look, only 14 points now separating the top two there. That gap was, it was almost 100 points earlier on in the season. Nicky's not had the greatest of runs in this second third of the calendar. I don't too sure. I think I don't think Dami's actually racing this evening, so this could give Nicky an opportunity to pull away effectively. But it's still pretty tight in that top 5, isn't it? I mean, round 14, we've still got 7 rounds to go. It could literally still be anyone's, couldn't it? Yeah, it could. Baz Den Brand, 5-time constructors champion, never won the drivers' championship, but I think he's finished runner-up 4 times. But yeah. I mean, if he gets a good result here and perhaps Nicky doesn't, then it could be wide open for him as well. Yeah. And indeed, Van der Berg behind. Yeah, indeed, could still mix it up very much. Let's have a look at this, how this reflects. Excuse me, in the Constructors' Championship. So, leading the way are Red Bull, unsurprisingly, on 326 points. Second is Toro Rosso on 294. Third, McLaren have jumped up to third with 198. In fourth, we have Rocket Williams dropping down one to 191. And then we have Renault in their first time this season on 91 championship points. Remember, Renault have been lacking drivers all season, so it's an interesting one. Scuderia Ferrari are 6 on 85. 7 are Mercedes on 85 as well. Then we have Haas on 37. Alfa Romeo on 8, and bringing up the rear is Racing Point on 0. They haven't had any drivers really at all this season, so that's the reason for that. Still tight for the constructors, though, between Red Bull and Toro Rosso for first, but also close for that third place, isn't it, between McLaren and Rocket Williams? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, McLaren, good team there with Baz Den Brand and Guido Urschen. Although
either of them really haven't had very good form this season. But apart from perhaps Urshan at Canada, managed to win that race. That was a brilliant race that was. But yeah, Williams as well on 191. We're seeing the likes of Sander Hermans and his teammate Marcel Dronig, who it's impressing me every race I see him. He's an experienced guy as well, but this season in particular seems to be kind of his season.
Yeah, he's definitely shone this season, I think, hasn't he? I think it's probably the best way to describe. Yeah, definitely shone. Yeah, so it's still very, very tight there, and obviously tight further down as well. Renault 91, Ferrari 85, Mercedes 85. So still quite tight on this Drivers' Championship. Still many points available, and it could really be a race to the end, literally.
Yeah, and as you said, Eddie, Renault haven't even had drivers for a big part of this season, but they've got the two new guys, Sildavit and Nishay Mahadasing.
Yeah.
Both of them, again, they're young drivers and they are rapidly improving.
Well, they have
race.
performed fantastically, it has to be said. They really have performed fantastically. And they're going to be interesting ones to see, I think, come season 7, that's for sure. Right, let's have a look at the track itself. So we are here, Autodrome Nazionale di Monza, in Italia. For those of you that don't know, that's Italy.
I'm sure they know.
I'm sure they do, but I just want to throw that one in. Okay, so circuit length is 5.793 kilometres. Total race length, 306.72 kilometres. And we are looking at 53 laps. We were talking last week about Spa obviously being a long track. This is equally quite a long track as well, isn't it? With, nearly 6 kilometres.
Yeah, it's one of the longest circuits, but not on time, of course, because the average speed round is, I think it's around 150 miles an hour, which is about 240 kilometers per hour. It's the highest average speed of any circuit.
Yeah, it's a circuit that is a load of straights and winding corners interrupted by some very nasty chicanes, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
So let's have a look at this. Obviously, Sector 1 takes from the start finish down to just before turn 4-5. That's the Variante del Regia, or the Watch Variante, or Watch Corner. Second sector takes us from there to just before the Ascari Variante, which is turns 8, 9 and 10. And obviously third and final sector takes us from there to the start-finish line. 2 DRS points. First DRS active or detection point is just as you're coming out of Lesmo, turn 7. That activates on the Seraglio down there. That's little sort of real left-hand kink leading you down to the Ascari. And then the second detection zone is just before turn 11, and that activates down that start-finish straight, taking you to the wonderful Variante del Rettifiglio, the first chicane. Those DRSs, in my opinion, nicely placed, although I've got to say, probably wouldn't be bad to have one out of Ascari just for the hell of it if we're going to go wild. But, that said... yeah, I mean, it is some very fast straights and, sort of winding corners where you can build up the speed. As I said, interrupted basically by some nasty chicanes. And that's pretty much what it is, really. It is a challenging track, but it's not necessarily a difficult track to get to know, if that makes see what I mean.
No, I mean, along with Canada, I'd say it's probably, I don't like using this word, but it's one of the easiest circuits. It is very much straight in sort of long sections of it. About 60 or 70% of the circuit is actually straight.
Yeah.
80% of it full throttle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you're going to see the speeds. Interesting point, obviously, first lap, that Rettifiglio turns 1 and 2 is going to be very interesting. Also, Del Regia Variante 4-5. And then, obviously, Ascari. Watch on Parabolica as they're coming round Parabolica. A great opportunity to overtake there, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and it's one of the most spectacular corners, particularly for overtaking. If you get a nice line, you can do it around the outside, and just... look amazing.
Round the outside. Like the Buffalo Girls. Indeed. So, sorry, gosh, just going off on a tangent there. Nothing unusual there. Okay, so that's where we are. The guys are on the track at this moment in time. Adrian, if you could just lead us into who we've got and who we haven't got while I transition across, please.
Yeah, that's not a problem. First of all, I'll start with Toro Rosso, actually. Damien Hartman is here. Damien Hartman is here for tonight's race, despite what we thought earlier on. So he will be looking to possibly pass Nicky Visser at the end of this race and championship. Hans Vanderberg as well, his teammate, is racing in the other Toro Rosso. Then we've got both Red Bull drivers as usual, Nicky Visser and Boy Williamson. This is their second season as teammates, actually. Still Devitt and Nisha Mohadra Singh, the two Renaults, they're both racing. Sander Hermans and Marcel Dronig, two Williams drivers. Paul Carey and Peter Phillips, they both finished in they got through to Q3 actually in the previous race for the first time this season, actually. Let's see if they can do the same here in Italy. John Donkel and Mark Stappers in the two Ferraris. Ari Kopp and Ari Kopp's teammate. Who's Ari Kopp's teammate? Is that França? That's Miguel França. He's not racing tonight.
Marcel France.
Baz de Marie and Guido Erschen, two McLaren drivers. They're both in. And I believe that is your lot. That's all 17.
Like Miguel Tawney, I think, may have disqualified himself for whatever reason there. I'm not too sure what that is. He hasn't been in another race, so it might be a penalty that he's serving, or an unserved penalty at this moment in time.
Okay, I wasn't aware of any back starts for this race. But
nor was I, but I don't know. I'm working on that from either that, or he's just so out of practice that he's gone off, but it doesn't show to get in it for anything, so I'm not too sure. Okay, we're on board now with Paul Querret in the first queue. 10 minutes remaining of this queue. We will go down to 15 drivers into Q2, so we're dropping 2. One of those obviously is Miguel Tawney, and the other one is yet to be decided. It will be effectively, obviously, the slowest driver. Normally under 20, with 20 drivers full field, you will be losing from 16 down to 20, but in this case it's just the 2 drivers. Paul Querret coming across the line there, and a nice time, 1:21.1.
Yeah, but Paul Querret, he impressed me last week.
Yeah, did me as well.
I've raced against him sort of personally a few times. He's often, occasionally in the driver testing sessions that we do for the new drivers. But yeah, I mean, when I've raced against him in those, I've found him to be kind of approximately my pace, perhaps a little bit quicker. But then come the F1 Tonight league races, yeah, I see him driving much faster, much more aggressively. And yeah,
particularly over the last
really well
couple of races, certainly. Yes. He really has sort of improved, tremendously. He really has. He's really pulling out the stops, isn't he?
Yeah, quite right. It seems to have sort of found his rhythm. I've actually noticed he's got the number 21 on his car. Hans Vanderberg is officially our number 21 driver.
Ooh, naughty Paul. Naughty
so
Paul.
Going to have to change that at the end of this.
It should be 67, Paul. I'm just checking there. Not 21. You can't be 21 again. You're 67. Hans Vanderberg, obviously, there just coming in the pits. Yul Tyson is out on track at the moment. Looks like, he's just coming down towards Cerro. Oh no, sorry, it's the second one there. So that's the Variante Orgia now coming down to Lesmo. Round turn 6, second turn. Nicely. Now he's coming down the Cerro. There's the DRS activation line there. Little left turn, drop downhill, taking it now towards the Variante Escari. And I've got to say, these are my favourite set of corners on this track, the Ascari. Love them. I love them.
I think a lot of drivers will tell you the exact opposite.
Yeah, I know, but it's just the challenge of it, because when you get it right, the sense of accomplishment when you go flying through there is tremendous, I've got to say.
That's right. I mean, if you have got the line sort of exactly right, you can't get on the throttle very early in that section. And if you do that, it's such a joy.
Well, I've got to say, I'm generally on the throttle as soon as I'm in through turn 8. So as soon as I'm exiting 8, then I'm on the throttle generally.
Okay.
But my hate, the corners I hate the most is Rettifiglio, got to say. It's like, 8 times out of 10 I get it completely wrong.
It's so easy to catch you out there. Especially if you're doing well, you think you're in a rhythm, and then all of a sudden you just take just the wrong line. It's a bit like Eau Rouge at Belgium. You just randomly spin out.
I haven't quite found my breaking point. I think that's the critical thing, is the breaking point for that first chicane. Well, indeed, I'm not so bad when it comes to the second variant in Rogier, turns 4-5. That's okay, but that my Achilles heel is definitely 1-2.
Yeah. So, even worse in the rain.
Well, God, yeah. Now, this is another thing to discuss. Generally, this season, when we've had dry qualities, we've had wet races, and when we've had wet qualities, we've had dry races. We're looking at a dry quality, couldn't we be looking at a wet race?
Well, that bright sunshine would say not, but this game's got a habit of just doing random things at random times. So, honestly, who knows?
Well, as I say, I was touching on obviously season 5 here at Monza, and if memory serves correctly, that was wet. Not all the way through, but it was wet.
You've got the Statman stumped on that one, because
I don't believe it. Statman is stumped.
I have not rewatched the season 5. I've not rewatched the season 5 Italian Grand Prix recently, so I've let you down on that one, I'm afraid.
Mate, that's what can I say? Viewers, please send us in your comments on that. The stats man didn't have the stat for season 5 Monza. I am. You're sacked. P45, mate. You're sacked. That's it.
Right.
There's just no coming back from that.
Get Dan in.
Get Dan Huzzah Bird in, I think.
He was good on Tuesday, wasn't he, Dan?
He was, yes. Big shout out to Dan. Actually, was touching base with him today, so he is now fully up and ready on the OBS as well now.
Beautiful. Does that mean I don't have to put up with you anymore?
Nah, afraid not. You're not that lucky. Okay. You know what I mean? It's just, you're lucky, but you're not that lucky. All right, let's have a look there. We've got 4.5 minutes remaining. Nicky Vista leads the way with a 120.3 300ths ahead of his teammate Boy Williamson with a 120.679. 2 tenths behind Sil. And Sil again showing his form there. I've got to say, I'm a bit surprised that Miche isn't up there either at this moment in time. Maybe he's holding back a bit. But,
it is only Q1. They won't necessarily be pushing, with all their might, knowing that 2 drivers are going to drop out of this session anyway. True. And in fact, 2 have retired, so everyone that is still in it.
Peter Phillips has, yes. So Peter Phillips will be starting, I suspect, P16. So that's Peter Phillips in the Haas. Will be starting 16, and Miguel Torni in the Alfa Romeo will be starting in row 17, so that's in row 9, and Hans Vanderberg has gone out. But he's okay. Peter Phillips will be starting in 16, that's row 8.
De Bruyne's just set a sort of a courtesy lap. I suppose he didn't have to set a lap officially, but we always ask the drivers to go out and set a competitive lap, just to, out of courtesy than anything else.
120.2, only 1.9 off the fastest time on the softs. That's pretty good, I think, pretty respectable. And I've got to say, I'm wondering if we're going to see. All being obviously a dry race, whether we will actually see some drivers opting for this hard tyre.
Possibly. I always say I don't particularly like the hard tyre on this track too much. there aren't too many sort of corners that are heavy on the tyre degradation. So you can actually get away with running the softer compounds that bit further than you might normally stay at Monaco or somewhere.
Yeah.
Run them into the sort of 65% wear territory.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean, the chances are that we will more likely be looking at one stop for the majority of the drivers, I suspect, barring incident, obviously.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And rain.
Well, yeah, and that as well.
Yeah. Well, Nicky Visser's going out for another lap. Probably just... Oh, I say he's going out for a lap. He's just hit the wall.
Oh my God, what's happened there? I just missed it. I was just going to go on to him, but now I can't go on to him, but he's hit the wall.
Yeah, I just cut to him, and he was across the grass, and and just hit the wall just at that moment. I'll have a quick look at the little replay.
Well, I don't suppose it's going to make too much odds, but he's probably just laid down that bit too much power, a bit too quick there, and spun it out.
Yeah, and importantly, he won't be able to participate in Q2.
Will that definitely take him out of Q2 as Peter Phillips? Well, I don't know about Peter Phillips, but I think they retired inside.
Well, he'll go through to Q2, but he won't have a car to compete in that session. So if that makes sense.
So he's going to be starting effectively in row 15 then.
Yes, row.
Sorry, P15, row 8.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's going to be interesting, isn't it?
It will be for Damien Hartman.
Well, yeah, because I was saying I didn't think Damien was in. I didn't believe he was actually going to come in. Bless him, he's up at like 5:30 in the morning. So, yeah, this is... and bearing in mind that obviously 5:30 in the morning is equivalent actually to 4:30 UK time, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, if that ain't dedication, he just doesn't want to lose those points, does he?
To put that in perspective, he's got to be up in, 8.5 hours, and this is a 2-hour race, almost, including quali.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, so little update that. We'll touch on that if required.
I'm intrigued now.
So am I. Check your UKNL all departments.
A bit of dead air now.
We are while you're looking at that. No, it won't be dead. I'm here. It won't be dead. Don't worry. I'm watching the Ferrari guys now as they come into the pits. And who's that? Actually, that is Mark Stappers just coming in there as his car gets put on the wheels, placed back in the garage. And we are now at the end of this Q1 session. So we'll be going through to Q2. I suspect we're going to be down to 14 drivers in Q2 as Nicky Visser crashed out there. So, 13. So, yeah, so Nicky Visser will be starting P14. Hans van der Berg, I thought Van der Berg had gone out. Hans van der Berg will be starting in 15. So that's row 8. Alongside him will be Ari! All right, Ari Gup. And 17 will be Miguel Torni. I just realised I don't think I actually changed Ari's tag there. So it's still going to... So Adri, or did I change it? I can't remember. I'm going mad. Never mind, we'll soon see. So through are Peter Phillips, Basden Brands, Mark Stappers, John Dunkel, Marcel Droney, Yul Tyson, Guido Urshan, Nishima Singh, Sander Hermans, Paul Correa, Davey Hartman, Sil de Witt, Boy Williamson. So those are our 13 drivers who will be competing in the Q2 session. Just in case you'd forgotten or you didn't know what you're watching, this is F1 Tonight Netherlands, and we are here for round 14 of season 6 here at Monza at the Circuit Nazionale for the Italian Grand Prix. This is Q2 now getting underway, and let's have a look. Bit of a mix there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers, so 50-50.
softs and mediums. Who's going to be the first man out is the question. And it looks like it's going to be the Red Bull of Boy Williamson. Has he got somebody ahead of him coming out? I think he may have done. Ferrari's coming out behind him. Don't think he's got anyone ahead of him. No, so Boy Williamson will be the first man out on track going on to those mediums. Now, remember, the guys who qualify in the top 10, so the top 10 fastest, will go through to Q3, and they will have to start the race on the tyre which they set their fastest lap on here in this Q2 session. So, Boy Williamson sets the fastest time on these yellow wall tyres. He will go through to the Q3 session, but he will be starting the race on those yellow tyres. So, there we are, already on the way. And this is going to be the one that's going to show, really, as you're saying, Adrian, Q1, really the guys, you know, okay, 2 were dropping, but mostly they were probably treating it a bit more as a test session. This one's a little bit more serious now as you get into Q2, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's the sort of first cards of their hand are played as they tell everyone or show everyone which tyre they're going to be using first in the race, which is I know it doesn't sound too important, but it really is. It's crucial in many cases, especially if depending on where you actually start.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we saw that on Tuesday, obviously, with the UK's. I've got to say, big shout out to you, Adrian. You were doing so well, and you just lost it there, didn't you, on going up the hill? Well, it wasn't up the hill, it was on the exit, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was sort of into Radion. I've been saying to so many other drivers, every time I go up Eau Rouge, it just feels like a lottery, and it was lap 29, so I basically won. Well, I'll tell you what, not a lottery, it was like a Russian roulette, and I managed to survive 29 rounds before, and not shooting myself.
But to be fair, I mean, we lost over half the field there, which isn't unexpected, unfortunately, when it comes to Spa. But it was, over half the field we lost. We went from 18 drivers down to 8, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I was having the race of my life, and that first 2/3 of that Grand Prix. I was really enjoying it, and had some good battles with Dylan Platt. Would you believe? I never thought I'd say that, but that was fun at the start, first 4 laps or so, and then later on with Tom Stevens as well, second in the championship he is. Overtook me. I have to say, he overtook me in style. He had a broken wing and went round the outside of me around sector 3. I forget the sort of corners around there.
Yeah, he did.
It
was an excellent move. As you're saying, he had an end plate missing off the front left, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So, opening laps have been made. Boy Williamson set a 1:21.6. Baz Dembrain a 1:21.9. So, just over 3/10 off the back of Boy. John Donkel a 1:22.4. So, he's about 5/10 off Dembrain and 8/10 off Boy Williamson. Davey Hartman has now come in with a 1:21.5. Takes a provisional pole. Mark Stapper's jumped in provisional P3 now to 4, 1:21.9. Peter Phillips up there again. Look at that, 1:21.755 from Phillips.
Yeah, not too shabby that. Only 2/10 off. I know he's on the soft tyre.
Marcel Dronig sets a 1:22.4. Zander Hermans has now jumped into that P3 with a 1:21.6 in the Rocket Williams. So opening gambits coming on. Sil DeWitt not setting a great pace there, 1:31.2. Sure, he's not going to be too happy with that. Nishay Mahadwa Singh just coming through those first turns, 1-2. Now winding his way around the Biassono Curva Grande down towards the second variante Rogia. Nicely done through there as he comes up to the Lesmo turns now, 6-7. Got to watch it. Yeah, I mean, ideally you've got to watch it on the entry and really wind it on the exit of that first Lesmo, haven't you? You want to go over to the left, but you've got to be very careful not to go onto that rough, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's so easy to just lose concentration, drift wide, and as soon as you do that, you'll know about it.
Yeah, definitely. He's just coming through Ascari now, getting on to that wonderful straights, taking you down to Parabolica. I don't know what sort of speed you're hitting just before you break into Parabolica, but it's got to be, I would think, sort of 180s, 190s, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the engine cranked up as well, you can quite easily hit 200 before the start of Parabolica. Yep.
And look at that, Nishay Mahendra Singh, a 120.8. So once again, Nishay putting in a blinding quali time there. And just going round the boards, didn't want to, I'd say a good time there. I'm not going to bother going through the first turns.
Yeah.
He is in lap after all, so no big shakes on that. He is on the soft compound tyre. If we look at the difference, obviously Damien Hartman, second fastest man on the mediums. We're looking at a 7/10 difference, which is probably around about right, isn't it, for between the tyres?
Yes, about that. Yep. You could say that Nishay and Damie, both set kind of Q3 style laps. Sander Herman's only a tenth off of Damie as well on the medium tyre.
Yeah, that is true. So it'd be interesting to see what these top three are going to be like. We've got 8 minutes remaining, so about halfway through now. We should start to see these times start to come down now a bit, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we should do. Yeah, tracks getting more and more green, more rubber being put down on the circuit. We probably won't see too many drivers back out on track. Definitely won't see Nishay, Damie, Boy, Sanders, I imagine. The others may find themselves sort of at risk of dropping into those bottom three positions and not going through to Q3. So those will be the ones at risk, and those will be the ones getting out there and making sure that they get through.
Indeed. Well, we're on board at the moment with Yul Tyson. Sil DeWitt is in the drop centre at the moment with that 131. I'm sure he can better that. Yul Tyson still to set a time. As I say, we are on board with him, also Guido Ursch. So I'm not really sure where Guido is on the track at this moment in time. But we'll stay with Yul.
Start finish
on his fast lap.
Oh, he's just set a lap actually.
Guido
122.2. That will be at risk.
Yeah, that will be at risk. 122.2 puts a provisional P9. Remember, the top 10 go through, so whoever's in 11, 12, 13 will be dropped from the Q3 session. So very important for those guys, really, that are sitting, I would say from Mark Stapper's up, really, isn't it? Or down, rather.
Yes, maybe.
121.9.
Yeah, 21.8 I'm going to say is going to be the cut-off.
Yeah, I think you're probably around about right there. So Yul Tyson coming round Parabolica now. It's not looking too shabby. Needs to watch, he doesn't go offline there. And it's a 124.6. I say it wasn't looking too shabby, but it is. I'm quite surprised by that, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say this is his actual hot lap because he's got plenty of ERS, so I presume that he made a mistake and then toned down the ERS for him to set a hot lap this lap.
Ah, right, that makes sense. We are on board with Sil DeWitt at the moment now, coming through Ascari onto that back straight, leading down to Parabolica.
Sil was purple in the first sector. Not his best middle sector, but this last sector is looking good. It should be enough to go through this lap.
Just seeing on here. Yeah, and he's going to be in the 121. Yeah, 121.0. Sil DeWitt puts in provisional second. Look at that, Renault. First and second in this Q2 session. Very, very interesting indeed. So that means John Donkel, he's in the pits at the moment. He's in the drop zone. Marcel Dronig in the Rocket Williams, he's in the drop zone. And Yul Tyson. Yul Tyson, as we said, obviously, or as Adrian pointed out, that wasn't his fast lap. He's obviously put out, he's gone for this one, and it is looking an awful lot better, I've got to say.
Yeah, this is going to be challenging.
This is going to be a 120.
21.0, I think.
21.2. 21.2. He lost it just on that sort of coming out of Parabolica. Don't know why. Went over to the right-hand side of the track there. Well, I mean, at least it puts him in. Puts the provisional P4. I mean, that's safe, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd have thought so with that time. Yul Tyson, he's a driver that we saw in his debut. He had I think he finished 7th in his debut, and then won the next 2 races, next 3 races, I think it was.
Yeah.
But then since then, he hasn't really performed too well. I think he got DNFs twice in a row. Trying to look back through my notes of his previous form, but yeah, he hasn't really been sort of very spectacular since those first 3 races.
Maybe he's just not getting the practice in at the moment, or he's not drinking enough sugary drinks.
I'm sure it's not the first one.
Well, Baz is currently 10. He's just come into the pits. I suspect he's going to go on to those soft wall tyres, just in case with that 121.9. Guido Urshan is out on track at the moment. He is on the soft, so this is a fresh set of softs. He's on his out lap. And I'm just wondering if Den Brain is going to go onto the softs as well. We'll see how that pans out.
I'd imagine so. I mean, we've got a situation here now and then where one McLaren driver can knock out the other one, which isn't really ideal. But yes, Baz Den Brain probably should go back out there on the soft tyres. He won't want to, but he may have to.
Yeah, he may have to. A little bit wide out of Ascari there for Urshan. He's coming down to Parabolica now. Obviously no great shakes as it is his out lap. This is the one that's going to count, so we'll go on board with him for his fast lap as he comes down over the line now, starting that fast lap. Now this is a track that should suit him really, isn't it? He's got the yellows into turn 1-2 there.
Yeah, it should do.
Done.
Yeah, it should suit him.
It's his sort of style of track, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this is likely to be one of his favourites. Don't know that for certain. Don't quote me on that, but I imagine it is.
Nicely through there, the Variante. Second Variante now into Lesmo. I've got to say, he takes it quite wide round Lesmo, doesn't he? I tend to go in a little bit tighter on the right-hand side in that first turn and then exit. Nearly loses it there as he was coming out of turn 7, Lesmo, and that's what I was talking about. You've got to watch it out of 6 and 7. You don't go too far over onto that left onto those rumble strips because you hit the dirt and it will spin you out, won't it?
Yeah, what a good save that was, though.
It was an amazing save, I've got to say. I went to in car ready to see him smash into the wall, but he didn't.
Thankfully. Yeah. One of my favourite drivers is Guido, and I'm really hoping he goes through here. I'm sure he will this next lap.
Well, he's got time to do it. He's certainly got plenty of ERS left, that's for sure. So he's winding it up now. John Donkel is out on track at this moment in time. He's just coming round Seraglio now down towards Ascari. He is on his out lap, so we'll join him shortly. Let's see what Urshan's doing. But then Brain is now in the drop zone, and he has come out on those soft wall tyres as I suspected. He needs to get a move on. Yeah, oh no, it's okay, it's a fast lap, so he's okay. I thought he was on an out lap there, didn't see him come out earlier. So both of the McLarens are currently in the drop zone, but I think we're going to see Paul Perret and possibly Peter Phillips. You said the 121.8, it's pretty close, but I think they're going to have to go for the 121.7s or under, aren't they, these guys now?
Yeah, I think so. Peter Phillips, sorry.
Sorry, a twitch there again from Urshan. Oh, and he's lost it. He had a twitch out of turn 6, went onto the rough, and then he did straighten up. He was lucky again, he didn't go into the wall, and obviously that affected him going out of 7. So I think Urshan, that's it. There's nothing more he can do unless he can get round in the next 30 seconds, which I doubt. I think that's pretty much it now.
Yeah, that'll be him spent. His teammate, those purple in the first and second sectors.
Yeah, well, his teammate went flying past him, so he's now coming into Parabolica.
This is looking like a 120.1 at the moment.
Could it be a 119? No, just out, 120.4. But it does put in provisional pole. And John Donkel just coming through Ascari now. Let's see how his time is looking. He wants to be hitting 1:9, 1:10 into Parabolica. He's
bit late there. I don't think he's going to better his. He's going to maybe better his time, but I don't think it's going to be huge. Oh no, hang on, no, it is. No, look at this.
Maybe enough.
It will be enough. Look at that, 1:21.4. Definitely pulled it out round Parabolica.
Yeah, knocked out the Haas of Peter Phillips. So both Haas's not through.
So Peter Phillips and Paul Carey are out. So both Haas's will be starting in row 6. That's P11 and P12. And Guido Urshan, oh, how unlucky was he? He'll be starting in P13, row 7 there. And that was quite unfortunate. He just lost it out of Lesmo on turn 6. And that was it.
Yeah, Sander Herman's about to cross the line now. He's already through, but I think this is going to go top.
Oh, look at this. Almost. A 1:20.458 from Sander Hermans. What a fantastic run from him. But let's have a look at these top 3. I mean, Baz Den Bruijn, a 1:20.4. Then we have Sander Hermans, 1:20.458. And then we have Nishay Mahadwa Singh, a 1:20.803. A little bit difference there, but I've got to say, great run there from Den Bruijn and Sander Hermans.
Yeah, that was the sort of no nonsense lap, wasn't it, from both of those drivers, really. Yeah, I mean, the track was probably at its peak as well. Lots of rubber down, and yeah, just I think Baz had enough of being in the drop zone.
I think you're right there. But great result there. And let's see again, you know, that Nishay has been pretty consistent, hasn't he, in his qualifying, but he's just not quite been able to deliver it when it comes to the race. Hopefully, if he does well, obviously, in that Q3 session, let's see if he can actually deliver the goods now in a race situation as well, because he is improving all the time, isn't he? As are so many others.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned him earlier on, Mahadra Singh and David, yeah, both of them, really, both young drivers, and both relatively new to F1 tonight. And yeah, and both of them are improving rapidly, race by race. Yeah, as you said, Mahadra Singh tends to do much better in his qualifying than he does in the races. But I think that will change over time. I think his race pace will match his race consistency will match his qualifying pace.
Yeah, I've got a sneaky suspicion you're right there. And does this actually show the tyres that they set their laps on? Because there's a lot of mediums there, and then there's 2 guys on mediums when I looked at it at the end of that queue.
Yes, those were the tyres. Those were the tyres they will be starting the race on. So a few of them had to change from the medium to the soft just to make sure that they got through.
Yeah, so they will be starting on the softs then because they bettered their times.
Correct.
Yeah, so there are only 2 drivers that will actually be starting the race. That's okay, because that's what I was looking at. There will only be 2 drivers actually starting the race on the mediums, and that will be Sil de Wit and Dami Hartman. So this qualifying session is very, very important for those 2 guys. That said, Adrian, come on. Now is the time to call it. Who's going to be on pole?
For pole position here, I'm going to put my money on Sander Hermans.
Okay, I am going to put my money on Nishay.
I had a feeling you were going to say Nishay.
Yeah. So Sander Hermans there for and Nishay or myself, and looks like Den Bruijn is the first man out on track, and he's closely followed by Nishay, or is that Sil de Wit? No, that is Nishay. So Baz Den Bruijn, followed by Nishay, followed by Mark Stappers. No, who's that behind him? Damien. Yeah, I think it's Damien actually. So we are with Baz Den Bruijn. I am calling Nishay Mahadwa Singh for pole, and Adrian is going for Sander Hermans. Once we've actually established that, then we can go for who we think will be the race winner. Unless you want to announce your race winner now, Adrian.
I can give you the top 3 if you like. No, I can't really.
Oh, come on.
I can pick my winner. Although I would kind of like to see qualifying before.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if you wanted to. It wasn't obligatory. You
don't have to. I was just wondering if you wanted to.
I'll tell you what, I'll let you know if I've changed my mind.
That doesn't happen very often. Oh, look at this. He's slowed right down there, Baz Den Brain. Letting, who was that he's just let through? He's let Damie Hartman through.
And I think that was Seal. Oh no, it was Niche.
So that was Niche, was it? So he's let Niche take the lead. Although Niche's got somebody ahead of him. That track is quite busy at this moment in time. And interestingly enough, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the track where we saw a little bit of shenanigans this year in the real world F1, didn't we?
Yeah, I wish you were wrong about that, yeah, because that was absolutely horrendous.
So
I did not like that at all.
For those of you who may be unfamiliar in real world F1, and we like to make the comparison from time to time, this track can get pretty busy, and in the Q3 session in the real world, well, it was all pretty bloody disastrous, wasn't it? Because nobody wanted to take the lead or overtake anyone in their opening lap for the final queue, and it all fell apart, didn't it? It was horrible.
That's right, and it all stems from the drivers not wanting to lead, because the driver at the front has got to sort of suffer with all the wind, the excessive downforce, or not the downforce, but it's the drag that being that front car.
Look at that, Niche backing off there and letting Baz Den Brain through on his opening lap. No, on his fast lap, sorry, because Niche had obviously quit out. So Den Brain is actually on his fast lap now. This is going to be a 124.
Well, Williamson already set a 20.2.
Well, Williamson set a 120.2. Yul Tyson a 120.208. So Yul has come back. So 120.2, Yul Tyson, Paul Williamson 120.236, then Brian 120.7, Donkel Donkel 121.6, Damie Hartman, not quite what he's looking for, 130.0. Niche still to set a time.
Dronig back across the line.
He is.
He's not too quick here.
121.4. Mark Stapper's just coming out the pits now. So that's the Ferrari. Mark Stapper's just coming out the pits. Sil de Witt just coming round Lesmo. And looks like Tyson backing off there. Why have I lost Sil de Witt?
He's in the pit. He invalidated his lap and then came in the pit.
It's not letting me select him.
Yes, because I think he's just in the garage. Actually,
it's not letting him. It's not letting me select him.
Now it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, now it is. That's it. I couldn't figure that one out. That was a bit weird. Yeah. So Tyson there. Let's go with somebody who. So Niche.
Oh, Yul Tyson on top.
Paraboka.
We
knew that, Adrian.
Sorry.
Oh my God! Get the time.
You know what happened? I looked down at my telemetry and then looked back up.
Look at the times.
I had a brain fart. I'm sorry.
A brain. So Niche does set a time at 120.7. So clearly, I mean, these guys are going to be coming back out, and John's pulled into the pit. Stapper on his out lap. Let's see what he does here. These guys are going to come back in again. Still half time remaining. I think we're going to see a 119. In fact, I'm pretty sure we are actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure how deep into the 19s we will see.
Stapper's in straight away from his out lap. That's interesting.
Yeah. Don't know what was wrong with that.
There's not much he can change other than brake balance and front wing, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, unless he did suffer damage during that.
Can't see any damage. So a little bit unsure there. Sil de Witt is on his out lap at this moment in time, just coming down towards Ascari Seraglio. So we'll stay with him for his fast lap. But this is pretty much throwing our predictions out at the moment, because we weren't expecting Yul Tyson to be up there, or indeed Boy Williamson, were we?
No, and you know, and respect to those drivers, because those are very fast drivers, and both of them have had pole positions this season.
Yeah. So Sil de Witt
coming to start his fast lap now. Let's go on board for that. Let's see what he can do. So he's coming down the straight, full pelt here, top gear, and then braking hard as you come into that first variante, turn 1, 2, the right, left. Then he starts to wind it up round turn 3. That's Curva Biasono, the Curva Grande, or the big corner, which is a very apt name when you think about it. Coming down now to the second variante, the watch or the clock turns. Now coming into turn 6, first Lesmo. He's nice and tight on the right hand side, then goes wide. I've got to say that's my preferred option. Then tight again in the second Lesmo, turn 7. Gets that DRS, coming down now the Curva de Serraglia, that little left hand kink there, leading you down to the Variante Ascari. That's turns 8. So first left 8, 9 right,
in the middle.
10 left. Watch the exit, lay down the power. Getting ready now for that final corner of Curva Parabolica, turn 11, nice and tight there, rides it out wide on the exit, not too wide to discount. Gets back on there, stay on that line.
Yes, look at that.
Yes, fantastic. A 120.081, and yeah, that was a great run there from Sil de Wit. And Mark Stappers, he's on his out lap.
Sil, sorry, just jumping back on Sil. Yeah. It was actually 2 tenths down on his own first sector. So it's probably still a bit more to give if he needs to, and I think he will need to come the end, sort of the dying moments of this session.
Yeah, well, there's only probably 2 laps left for anyone that's in the pits, out lap and the fast lap. So got Davey Hartman, Nishay Mahad was seeing, and Stappers on their out lap. Still in the pits is Yul Tyson. Is he going to bother coming out? Is he going to challenge, do you think?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I think you'd have one more spare set of soft tyres that you can burn through.
Boy Williamson there sitting in third at this moment in time, 120.2. Zander Hermans is in row 2, provisionally P4. That's with a 120.5. Damie Hartman, he's in row 3, provisionally P5. Nishay Mahad was seeing P6. Then Brian, P7. Got to say, a bit surprised by that, because I would have expected then Brian to be up there, but he could well be coming out very shortly anyway. Dronik's on an out lap, just coming down round Serraglio.
It's a good lap as well from Dronik.
Stappers is on an out lap, so let's go with Dronik then as he comes into those Ascari turns.
Oh, sorry, no, this is still his out lap.
Oh, it is. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Right. His previous lap, the first 2 sectors
yeah,
were...
Yeah. Heard it all before.
I'm on top form today, aren't I?
No better than these, sir. Let's put it like that. We'll be all right come the end. Oh, I've forgotten something as well. Hang on a second. What have I forgotten? I'll tell you what I've forgotten.
Oh, sorry, my 100thing's off.
No.
First sector, he's off. Yeah, he's off track. Cars are still in one piece, I think.
Yes, it is, because he is still showing on there, but yeah, he's got severe front wing damage. I don't think he's got a front wing much, actually. So Mahad was seeing, unfortunately, he's not going to better that time. So that's my prediction out the window.
Is that front wing damaged?
No, it's not. No, actually, I've just seen it. It isn't damaged. I thought it was when I was looking at a certain light. There is no damage on that front wing. So he's just winding up, getting ready. So he could still go for it. He's just getting, he's just winding himself up in preparation because he obviously quit out of that one.
Yeah, he's also conscious. Got to get the dirt off the tyres as well before the start of the lap.
Okay, so let's go. Yul Tyson, he's coming across the line now. He's on an out lap. Got Nishay Mahad was seeing behind him. So let's go with Yul Tyson. He's going to try and see if he can better that time. He needs to take 2 tenths out of his previous best, and Nishay needs to take 7 tenths out of his previous best.
Well, I think Nishay was about to before he sort of spun off.
Now, okay, it's a plus and a minus that he's got Tyson ahead of him, because he could break that air for him and give him a tow if he gets close enough out of Ascari, couldn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it's going to be tight for Still to start this lap. He's only got 15 seconds left to get to the start and finish line. I don't know if he's going to make it.
I doubt it. He's only going around. He's going power. Oh no, he might. No, he's not. No, he's not going to make it. No.
He's 2 seconds too late.
So Yul Tyson coming down the straight now towards Parabolica. What can this Mercedes driver do?
Oh, it's an invalid lap for Tyson.
It is.
Damien Hartman's on a hot lap though. He's 2 tenths down on Seal in the first sector.
Oh, Nishay is coming across now. Oh, and he doesn't make it. Doesn't make it at all. Does a 123. Boy Williamson. No, Damien Hartman you said, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Damien Hartman coming out of Seraglio now down towards the Ascari. Let's see, and he's down 1/10. That's still only going to put him. It's going to leave him where he is, basically.
Well,
in that P4.
And he's 3 tenths overall slower than Seal.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stay where they are. Oh, he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel.
Yeah, he is. Oh no! Damien Hartman runs out of fuel on his final lap. Oh, dearie me, he's going to be frustrated with that. Dronig didn't come out of the pits, and Stappers didn't come out of the pits either. So, what we're going to be looking at is Sil de Wit in the Renault will be taking that pole position for the start of this Italian Grand Prix. What a fantastic run from Sil de Wit.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. As I said, he's just getting better and better every race. You know, Silverstone, we saw him take second place. He really brought the fight to Boy Williamson, actually, and nearly overtook him on the final corner of the Grand Prix. And it just wasn't to be there. But yeah, no, really impressive stuff from Sil.
But also, I've got to say, an impressive run from Yul as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Yul is back on his regular form. I think he would have certainly felt that he could have got pole position here, particularly as Sil, was, as I said, 2 seconds too late to cross the line to start his final hot lap. But he didn't really need it. But no, good stuff from Tyson.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Eddie's just stepped away for a moment. I was going to do the predictions, but there's no point predicting if he's not here, because he won't believe me. But we'll run through the top 10 in just a moment. Oh, he's back. I don't need to run through the top 10. Can I run through the top 10 anyway? Talk to myself. So, still do it on pole position, and I've just mucked out because I've just pressed the back button by mistake.
What have you done? See, I'll leave you with a free hand for 60 seconds, and what do? It just all goes to pot.
There's your mistake.
This is going to be amazing, isn't it? I mean, Sil de Wit in that pole. Yul Tyson is second. We got Damien Hartman, Boy Williamson. Unfortunately, Nicky Visser has suffered an issue and he won't be competing. So, current championship leader is not going to be racing. This is a great, great opportunity for those guys. Just that little bit behind him in the championship, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it's their chance to eat up the gap. That once was 3 figures and is now just 20 or so points for the likes of Damien Hartman. I think if he can get the win here, he will be very happy, as they'll go into the lead and properly defend his championship.
And we've got some guys at the back of the field as well, a little bit unexpected. Guido Urschen, Hans van der Berg as well. Those 2 guys, going to expect them to come through as well, aren't we, really?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's very, very easy to overtake here in Italy with those long straights and 3 DRS zones. You know, you're hitting 220 miles an hour by the end of the first, by turn 1.
There's only 2 DRS.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They didn't put one in there before the parabolic.
They didn't. We were talking about it, but unfortunately the FIA, they said to me, Eddie, no, mate, 2's enough for Monza. We don't need a third. You know, the boys don't like it. El Mafia boys, they don't like it. So they said, nah, we're not having a third.
But did you tell him that Harry said that it was all right?
Yeah, I did. I said, but Harry's in the race. He said it's okay. Okay, so let's go through with our runners and riders as they start to come around the track. And Sildavit is our race leader, but he doesn't come off the line. Don't ask me why. Then we have Yul Tyson. So he's going to be in that first row, 2nd place. Then we have Boy Williamson in the Red Bull, so he'll be in row 2, P3. Alongside him is going to be Damie Hartman, season 5 champion, so he's P4, row 2. Then we have Zander Hermans, and Zander Hermans in the Williams there is going to be P5. Then we have Nishay Mahadwa Singh, and Nishay is in that P6 position. Surprisingly, I've got to say, Baz Dembrayan, he's in that P7, he's also still sitting on the grid. Then we have Marcel Dronig, he's in P8, row 4. Row 5, we have John Donkel in P9. P10 is his teammate, Mark Stappers. So both Ferraris occupying that row 5. Then we have Peter Phillips in the Haas, he's P11. Paul Perret, his teammate, is alongside him, so row 6 is also a Haas lockout. Then P13 slightly out of, well, I say very slightly, quite a bit slightly out of place is Guido Urshan in that McLaren. And alongside him is going to be Nicky Visser. Oh, Nicky did manage to stay in. Oh, great. I wasn't sure if Nicky was actually going to compete, but Nicky has managed to stay in, so he'll be starting that race. Hans van der Berg is behind them in row 8, P15. And next to him is going to be Harry! Oh, Harry! It's Harry! Harry Kopp. Welcome. That's his 2nd race. And Miguel Torni is bringing up the rear of the field in P17.
Eddie, just before they start, prediction, mine hasn't changed, still Davitt.
Still Davitt. I'm going to go for Yul Tyson.
Head.
Indeed. Let's see, the guys are now lining up. We are waiting for the lights.
Top 4 starting on mediums, the rest on softs.
So, lights are coming on. And we are off for the start. This F1 tonight. Italian Grand Prix Season 6, round 14. As Yul Tyson takes the lead as they're coming down to that first Variante. Oh, look at this, and going in deep there is the Williams of Zander Hermans. Boy Williamson's jumped up to 3, staying in 3, sorry. Sildavit dropped to 2, Yul Tyson is 1. Nishay Mahadwa Singh up to 4th already, up 2 places. Zander Hermans stays where he's in 5. Damie Hartman, he's down 2 to 6. Marcel Dronig, it stays where he is, up 1. John Donkel, Mark Stappers down 3. Baz Dembrayan up 4 is Hans van der Berg. So expect to chat. Oh, look at that, contact there. Contact, and that was with Baz Dembrayan of the McLaren, and he's made contact again with the other McLaren of Guido Urshan. Oh, dearie me, that was not a safe coming in again from Van der Berg, was it?
No, not at all there. No, that was a bit of a huge lapse of concentration, I have to put it down to.
Yeah, and I said there's at least a couple of cars damaged there. He's got damage on his front wing. Looks like front right on there, but I think that Dembrayan may have picked up some damage, and possibly Urshan as well. I'm just having a look at Urshan's cars. They're coming into Ascari. Yeah, look at that. He's lost his front wing.
Yeah, I think one of those McLarens lost a piece of their wing in turn 1, actually. I saw a piece of orange wing on the floor.
I think that was Dembrayan, possibly. No, Dembrayan's okay. It was Urshan. So Urshan came out really badly there with that. Got to say, that was not a safe entry back onto the grid there from Van der Berg, from what I saw.
Yeah, no, quite right. 5-second penalty for
Visser speeding in the pit lane. I think he got damage as well. Yeah, he was involved in that incident as well. So he's got front wing damage. Looks like Hans van der Berg is in, as is Guido Urschen. So those 3 cars there, all affected.
John Dockle's just passed Damien Hartman.
Yes, he has.
Around Curva Grande.
Yeah. And Damie's coming back to him now as they're coming up to the second Variante. Roger, and takes the pace back from him. Nice going there from Damien Hartman.
Yeah, great stuff. Paul Cray's also gone past Den Brain, the injured Den Brain, for P10.
What, is he injured? I don't think he is. There's no front wing damage on there.
Stand by. No, sorry, you're right, yeah, he's not injured.
No front wing damage. I think he escaped. It was Urschen that picked up the damage. I think it was rear contact on Den Brain from Van der Berg, which spun him out. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so these guys settle down a bit now. Let's have a look and see where we are at this moment in time, and actually have a quick look at the tyres as well, because that will come into play. So let's go from the top down. Yul Tyson, he's on those mediums, leading the way at this moment in time, and he's nearly 3 seconds ahead of Sil de Wit in second place in that Renault, also on the mediums. Boy Williamson, he's in third, he's on the mediums, just 7/10 behind Sil de Wit. We have Nishay Mahadul Singh on those softs. He's closing in. Look at this. He's really challenging Boy Williamson now as they're coming round the Curva Grande, coming down towards the second Variante. Look at this, wheel to wheel.
Yeah, great stuff.
Looking in the background there, Sander Hermans. He's looking to get a little sneaky peek in there, isn't he?
Trying to capitalise on the battles going on ahead of him. Lucky not to tag the back of the 2 cars.
Yeah, and this is the thing also about Monza. It is very close racing as well. It's fast and it's close with this track, isn't it?
Yeah, always. So great stuff from Tyson. Fantastic start off the line, and yeah, comfortably. Well, let's say comfortably 2.5 seconds ahead.
He's lost a little bit of time to DeWitt. DeWitt has caught up with him a little bit, but it's only like 1/10, a couple of tenths, if that. He seems to be maintaining that gap at this moment in time. I'm running on board with Sander Hermans. He comes in the Parabolica and watching Nishay Mahadul Singh and Boy Williamson ahead of him. Now Nishay's clearly, I think, going to look to try and make a loop. He's looking to try and get a toe off Boy Williamson. He gets alongside him. He does get past him. So Nishay is now past Boy. Sander Hermans is now coming down, and it seems to me that Boy has not got an awful lot of straight line speed, because look at this, wheel to wheel here as he's coming through the first Variante with Sander Hermans, and Sander Hermans gets ahead of him. He's taken him into Variante.
Yeah, lost 2 places in 2 corners there, did Boy.
But it was all on that straight. He doesn't seem to have any straight line speed in that Red Bull. Yeah,
I wonder if he's got ever so slightly higher downforce setup on his car there than the 2 drivers ahead of him. Although, don't forget, both those drivers did have DRS, and they probably cranked up their ERS all the way as well.
And they're both on softs as opposed to Williamson being on the mediums.
Yeah, although that's not going to affect your straight line.
Shouldn't affect your straight line speed, no. That is very true. And he certainly seems to be staying with them, though.
It's a bit of a
I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a train of cars now forming behind him. 5 cars here, all fighting for this is the battle.
Well, look at this. I mean,
third place.
3/10 off the back of Herman, 7/10 is Damien Hartman off the back of him. Donkel is 6/10 off the back of him. It is still very close in this field, and then Brian looks like he's coming through to take Dronig actually as they're coming round Parabolica. It takes the inside line, does make the move on Dronig, and then Brian getting past Dronig, and now Peter Phillips is looking to challenge Dronig as well as they get onto the straight.
Yeah, Phillips may do it as well. Both the drivers not really using their ERS too much.
Oh, and there's contact with a Ferrari there. Don't know what happened there.
Stafford's lost a piece of his wing.
Yeah. Oh, and he's like gone through the crash barriers there. The runoff strip effectively for that first Variante, and he's got damage on that front wing. Front left end plate has gone off that Ferrari. So that was contact in the braking zone as they're coming down to the first Variante. Peter Phillips is in 11, Dronig 10, Dembrain is now 9, Poiret is 8. Davey Hartman 7, John Donkel 6, Boy Williamson 5, Zander Hermans 4, Nishay Mahadwa Singh is 3, Sil DeWitt 2, and Yul Tyson leading the way, and that gap now is up to 4.1 seconds to DeWitt.
Yeah, that's well, a large part of that is down to ERS. Well, as it would be on this this circuit, ERS is so important, and to have good management. I mean, you know, ideally you'd want to just keep using it all the time, but obviously you can't do that.
You have somebody that's using all the time. Nishay is really using up that ERS at this moment to stay with his teammate.
But what Nishay's managed to do, he's used that ERS to get within the DRS zone or DRS distance of his teammate. So now what he can do is put the ERS back down and use the DRS to maintain his lap times.
Yeah, but he's got Zander Hermans very close in behind him as well. It's only 6/10 off the back of Nishay, so he could well be challenging very, very soon. He's depleted his ERS as well, but not quite as much.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder now if Renault's may switch positions because you've got Nishay on the faster soft tyres behind his teammate on the slower mediums.
Yeah, and we've seen this again. I mean, when you're on those mediums, you need to stay at a certain distance to the leader, don't you?
Yeah, exactly right. But you've got 3 drivers
to make it
now.
work. So we've got top 2 drivers on the mediums, next 2 are on the softs, and then we've got Boy Williamson on the mediums. I mean, at the moment, it is advantage. Oh, look at this. Yeah, they've swapped round. No, they haven't. No, sorry, he's dropped behind him. Sorry, I thought they'd swapped round there.
I think he was looking at a move was Nishay, but I think he's going to do it here under DRS, where they won't lose any time at all, so nobody will have to slow down.
Just making the move, gets alongside his team. But look, Zander Hermans is trying to get an advantage there, and Zander Hermans has slipped in between them.
Wow!
Look at that! What a move there from Zander Hermans. He's done another move into that first Variante, as he did on Boy Williamson a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, and if nothing else, Zander Hermans is probably one of the most opportunistic drivers.
Now, look at this, he's wheel to wheel now with Nishay as they come down to the second Variante, and he gets ahead of him. Look at that, Nishay quits out.
Nishay's gone off.
Yeah, Nishay, and this is race experience here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nishay,
I mean,
under pressure there, got a little bit flustered. Zander Hermans said, "Thank you very much for leaving that door open for me. I'll tip you next time." And jumps into that P2 position.
Yeah, it was sort of a very delicate moment, wasn't it, between the 2 Renault drivers. They were probably not 100% sure of exactly what they were going to do to get past. They chose to do it down the main straight, which, you know, arguably is the best option. But then Zander, because he was so close behind, he was able to slipstream and use the DRS. And just he had so much speed going into turn 1, there was nothing that Sil DeWitt could do about it, and end up losing the place to him as well.
But as I say, I mean, this really, to me, does come down to race experience. I mean, these Renault drivers, they are great drivers, good drivers, but they don't have the same race experience. Although, that said, Nishay now making the move on Hermans, they come down to turn 1. But that's the difference, isn't it? They don't have that race experience. So it's they're a little bit twitchy, aren't they, when it comes to moments like that?
They may, you know, in fairness, they may actually have race experience, but it's experience of racing in this particular league with these drivers and the way that each of those drivers drive. You know, because you could have done 100% races elsewhere, and then you come here and it will feel completely different.
Yeah, that is very true. Davey Hartman picking up a 3-second time penalty there. He's the first man to pick up time penalty.
Nicky was the first with the speeding.
In the pit lane.
Yeah.
So we are on board with Zander Hermans. He's looking down the barrel at the moment. And in those sights, he's got Nishay Mahadwa.
Oh, your Tyson's crashed.
No! He has! Look at this! Out of Ascari, and he's in the middle of the track. Position. I think he should be okay, but he's lost it clearly out of Ascari and went into the barrier there. Not unknown, is it? If you go that little bit too far to the right-hand side, it just spins you off when you hit the grass, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's so easily done. That's what I mean. Ascari is one of those tracks, one of those corners, that just can catch drivers out. much like Eau Rouge. What a shame that is.
It is, because that's my win out the window as well. And again, look at that. Sander Hermans outbraking Nishay, gets him on the DRS into that turn 1. And Sander Hermans is now leading this race.
Well, I had him down for pole position.
Yeah, but you didn't have him down for the race win.
No, and I didn't, and I at this point I wish I had. I know we're only lap 9, but you know he's in good stead here.
He is in very good stead. Nishay Mahadur Singh is in second, and he's doing a great job maintaining that second place. Sil Devitt is in third. Great race. I mean, gotta say, Team Renault, go Team Renault.
They're doing a fantastic job, both of them at the moment.
They are doing a great job. P4 is Boy Williamson. So Boy Williamson at the moment in that P4 position in that Red Bull. And he's staying in there though. I mean, he's still looking good, I've got to say. Damie Hartman as well. He's still looking pretty good. Okay, he's not up there, but he's in that P5. He's on the medium tyres. These guys are the ones that will assume the lead of the race once those front two come in before their pit stops.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. And it's a good place to be at the front of the pack. Oh, yellow flags. That's for Miguel Torney. Currently P11. Well, he was P11. He's crashed at exactly the same spot as Jules Tyson.
Okay,
car is in the same position.
Miguel Torney going out on the exit of Ascari as they get up to the straight, so the cars are going to have to watch that. They will see the yellows. They should get a view, shouldn't see any collisions. Hopefully they'll probably be cleared by the time they get round there anyway. So yeah, Boy Williamson, he's in that fourth. Fifth is Baz Dembrayan as well. Now, Baz has actually gone to the soft compound tyres. I think his preference would have been the mediums, but he's starting to come through this field a bit more now. He seems to have got a second win. He's now got it together. He's coming through the field, isn't he?
Baz is well and truly in this fight for the race win here. I appreciate he's on the soft tyres, but you know, three of the 4 drivers ahead of him, I think. 1, 2, no, 2. Oh, who's that gone off? Sil Devitt's gone off.
Sil Devitt has gone off. Yeah, Sil Devitt has gone off at Ascari there. So he drops down to 6. Damie Hartman is now up to 5. Then Brain is up to 4. Williamson is 3. Hermans is now 2. And Nishay Mahadur Singh has reassumed the lead of this race. So still a fight going in between these two. Now, the next question is, when are these two going to come in? I would suspect that they're going to come in probably around about lap 14.
Yeah, I can't comment on that. I haven't done my tests on this track on 100%.
And look at that. Nishay Mahadur Singh holds off Hermans into the first Ascari. Hermans trying to get his way through, and you can see, look at this, Hermans, he's just ducking and diving, trying to see where he can go and get a line in there. And Nishay just holding that line, maintaining it. Let's watch him now into the second Variante. And he's got that down to a T, hasn't he? Those Variantes. Looking at Hermans. Slides on through, but look who's in third place. Look who's in third place. Baz Dembrayan is in third place now. He's got past Boy Williamson. He got past Hartman. He's now got past Williamson, and he's now up into that P3 position with Nishay Mahadur Singh and Sander Hermans ahead of him.
They've got plenty of VRS as well.
Look at this. He's looking to challenge into Ascari, by the looks of it. Nishay going wide into 9.
Eddie, just before, actually, it's going to pass Nishay.
They're wheel to wheel there. But he gets past him.
Not too much Nishay could have done there.
Not really. You were going to say, Adrian?
Yeah, I was going to... sorry, Nishay went a little bit slippery on the exit of Parabolica. But Baz is about to take the lead here of this race.
He is. Look at this. He does. Takes the lead. Gets ahead of Sander Hermans. He's really opened it up. Where has this come from? Has he got nitrous fitted to his car or something?
I think it's just good ERS management, which is effectively the same thing.
Well, let's be honest. Not unexpected coming from Dembrayan, is it?
Absolutely not. No. Strategy master he is. Damien Hartman's just gone around the outside of Paul Correa into 2, defending now into turn 3.
Yeah.
3 into 4.
And Poiret, he's doing a great race again, isn't he? Look at this.
Yeah,
battling
fantastic
it out
stuff.
here with Season 5 champion Damie Hartman. Paul Poiret, he's really coming the overall package now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's getting more and more league experience with F1 tonight, and yeah, he's just becoming a more sort of developed driver.
That is absolutely fantastic. He's really laying down the pressure. You were going to say, Adrian, before we saw their brain make the move there. I can hear you itching.
I was about to say, before sort of it actually went off, we've got the yellow flag on sector 2, I'll move that forward and click that out. We don't know at the moment. Before sort of it went off, I was about to say he was he had the advantage because he was the only one of the top 4 on the soft tyres. So despite being in third place at that time.
On the medium tyres, you mean?
On the medium tyres, apologies.
Oh, he's just made contact! Oh, dearie me, he made contact with Poiret as he was coming down the straight to try and get the line in, and he's taken off the front right end plate on his front wing there, David, so he's going to have to come into the pit. Not ideal. I mean, if he can stay out there, but I don't think he can. And while we're saying that, it looks like who was that making the challenge? Damie Hartman?
No, it was
Boy Williamson. Boy Williamson has just got past Dembrain, that's it. And that was into the Lesmo, first Lesmo turn 6. So Boy Williamson takes that place back from Dembrain. Dembrain back now to P3.
Yeah, sorry, just watching the little recording back there. I was riding with David as he was coming down into turn 1. Yeah, and it just looked like Paul Poiret just drifted across to the left. I think he just squeezed him out. Didn't really give him any room. Yeah,
he's definitely going for it, although you have to see what the stewards may think of that. They look at it. On board at the moment with Dembrain, as he's coming around Parabolica onto that straight, and he's into the pits. Yeah, he's into the pits, Dembrain. That's 12 laps, effectively, on those softs. Came in early, obviously, because he had that incident, unfortunately, early on. He did get some damage. I don't know quite what the damage was on there. He's gone onto a set of mediums. Now, these mediums should take you around about 30-odd laps. Is he going to look to go to the end on these?
It depends what he does with sort of his fuel and how he drives the car. I mean, you can effectively complete that number of laps on these tyres. Yeah, you can do it, but you won't be able to push at all, really, in that time. So, yeah, there's sort of a fine line between, how well you manage the tyres, how hard you push, and how far you want to take the set of tyres. Practically, I wouldn't recommend it, but theoretically, it's possible.
Yeah, I've got to say, I can't see. Well, if anyone can do it, I guess he can, but I can't see it. I've got to be honest.
No, I imagine he'll come in. Oh, so we've got a car off. So we've got Stappers off.
Stappers. Oh, yeah. Just rejoined, but that put Dembrain off, and Visser has just taken advantage of that and got past Dembrain. Nicky Visser was just behind Dembrain. I was just going to say he's close in behind him, but he's taken full advantage there of that situation. And Dembrain, he's got past him, and Dembrain's now dropped down to 10, and Nicky Visser's got ahead of him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate timing, really. Dembrain had to slam on the brakes to avoid Stappers, and in doing so, Visser got past. Importantly, Sander Hermans has left the session, so he's just racing around in AI mode at the moment, which means he will be very slow.
Oh, wow. So Sander Hermans has obviously had some sort of technical issue. He's actually dropped out of the session. So that number 1 is now number 2, and that's actually an AI.
Yes.
And he's going to lose a lot of time. He's got Damie Hartman now behind me. He's going to overtake him, surely into Lesmo. Yes, he does. So Boy Williamson now moves up into first. Damie Hartman has moved into second. Nishay Mahadur Singh, I'm sure, will also make the move. Yes, he does. So he now moves up into third. Sil DeWitt, yes, he's going to make the move as well.
This is such a shame.
Sander Hermans has now dropped down to fifth. And it's not going to be long before Marcel Droning will be on his back, because obviously AI is set a lot lower than these guys can go. So he's going to be losing time hand over fist there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's already just lost four positions in the space of about 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So that now means that Boy Williamson's into first, Damie Hartman's into second, Nishay Mahadal Singh is into third, and Sil DeWitt is in fourth. Nishay, DeWitt going very wide up. So Nishay is now into the pit. I was about to say he's going to have to come in. Yeah. So that now releases DeWitt into third place. Sander Hermans will jump to 4 or 5, as Marcel Droney will get past him as well. So Marcel Droney gets into 4. Hermans is into the pits, so his AI decided to come into the pits.
Yeah.
And go on to another set of softs.
I think that's him actually. I think he's back. Yeah, I think that's him.
He's got a penalty. He's got a penalty as well. So he's going to come out. P11, I suspect. Yes. Yeah, because Paul Correa's in the pits as well. Yeah, so he does come out P11. Okay, so we've seen effectively more or less the first round of pit stops. We are riding now with Boy Williamson. He's leading this race. He's got Damie Hartman behind him. How deep can these guys go now? And Sil DeWitt on those mediums. This is the question. I suspect that they're going to try and get into those mid 30s, aren't they? They're going to reach sort of about that sort of point in the race. De Brien's actually got past Visser again. Oh, he has. Yes, indeed.
That's likely because Visser's tyres are considerably older than his own.
Yeah, well, he's on 14 lap old mediums. Obviously, De Brien on a nice fresh set of mediums. That contact definitely didn't want it. If anyone can come back from that, De Brien can.
Yeah, exactly. Marcel Droney in the pit now as well. So that's all the soft runners with the exception of Stappers and Ari Cotter.
Ari!
It's not Ari. It was pointed out to me. It's not actually Ari. It's I think it's Ari.
Ari, sorry. I'm sorry, Ari. I do apologise, Ari, but Ari just doesn't sound as good as Ari. So I'm afraid, at least for the rest of the season, it's going to stick. Or I could say Ari up. Ari up, Barry.
Eddie, there's a battle going on for P6. Peter Phillips and Mark Stappers there. Stappers actually did to Phillips pretty much the same thing that Correa did to.
Yeah, and they're coming down to the second battle. Oh, look at this! And he's really pushing it hard against him, Phillips. He was, there was definite wheel-to-wheel contact there with Phillips. He was pushing very hard, and I thought that was maybe a tad, little bit aggressive there. Don't know, maybe a tad.
A bit of argy-bargy.
Yeah, a little bit of argy-bargy, but Nishay Mahadal Singh now, as they're coming out of Seraglio down towards Ascari, he did have to lift there because I think Phillips might have to be reminded of how many times you can actually move to block.
Yeah, that's right. It's they call it the Verstappen rule, don't they? Yeah, I believe they do. That's what I call it, anyway.
Yeah, you're only allowed to move once, so you've got to pick your line and then stick to it. And, Nishay just watching behind there. He's just looking for his moment. But look at this, Peter Phillips getting alongside. Mark Stappers gets past him now. Nishay's going to have a look and he's going to try and see if he can get down in ahead. No, he can't. So they've both got past Stappers, but Nishay is very much looking to get past that Haas. I think he's just probably a little bit concerned as to where he's going to do it, really, isn't he? He's not hassling him at the moment into the second Variante. He's going to wait. I think he's going to wait to try and close down out of Lesmo and try and get him into Ascari or. Out of Ascari. Let's see, he needs to get a little bit closer. He seems to have backed off a bit there, doesn't he, somehow?
Yeah, he's turned the ERS right down. He's not interested in trying to get too close here. He's cranked it up now. I think you were right. I think he's going to try and make the move possibly out of Ascari.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good place to lay down the power. Now, he hasn't got enough to close him down round Parabolica, but he should have enough to close him down and then challenge him on the straight before they get down to turn 1.
Sander Hermans has gone off at Ascari.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so he has. He's back on the track though, so
he's gone from gone from top to bottom. He was leading the race here just a few laps ago. Peter Phillips was fastest lap though, 24.8.
That is fast. Yeah, and look at this. Shane now looking to make the move. Can he make it? No, again, he just opts out there, but he did get close enough. Now he's got to stay on the back of this Haas. I think he doesn't want to get too close. He's definitely wary of him, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely. He's, I wouldn't say taking it easy.
No, but he's just giving space, let's put it like that. He's picking his moments. And Mark Stappers picks up a 3-second time penalty there. And, I've got to say, we're already on lap 19. It's all been happening. This has been pretty fast and furious, isn't it? Fast and furious. F1 tonight, Netherlands, season 6.
Yeah, we don't want to get, copyright claim.
What copyright claim? I'm just saying it's fast and it's furious, it's a saying.
I completely agree with that.
Nishay closing down now on Peter Phillips. He's going to look to try and make that move again on that DRS straight. He should have the straight line speed, certainly. Phillips going very wide onto the left there. This is giving Nishay a great opportunity. Yeah, he's going to make it easily make the move there on that Haas, move up to that P6 position. In the meantime, ahead is Nicky Visser, and he's still battling out with Den Brain, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just sort of hanging onto the back of his car there. Still only half a second behind. I don't think he is particularly trying to overtake. He just wants to hang on to the back and for as long as he can, possibly until the end of this stint for Visser, and then he can go, come out fighting in the final phase. Well,
he should be more or less, I would suspect, halfway through where he'd like to be on those medium compound tyres. So, whereas Den Brain, obviously, we think, potentially could go to the end of this race on these tyres. I suspect that he won't, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. So let's have a quick review as to where our boy Williamson, the race leaders, come into the pits.
Speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, he's got 5 seconds.
Both Red Bull drivers now have got 5 second speed, 5 second penalties for speeding in the pit lane.
So Davey Hartman, season 5 winner in the Toro Rosso, now assumes that P1 position. We are on lap 21 of 53. Rapidly approaching that halfway mark. Davey Hartman leads the way at this moment in time. Then we have second place, Sil Davitt in the Renault, and good race from him so far. He's up into second place. Third place is the wild, the wonderful Baz Den Brain in that McLaren up to P3, and I'll review where he actually started the race in a little bit, but quite a bit further back than that. Then we have Nicky Visser. Again, he started at the back as well, but he's up to P4. His teammate, Boy Williamson, is now behind him in that P5 position. Then in P6, we have Nishay Mahadwa Singh in the Renault. P7, we have Peter Phillips in the Haas. That's in P7. P8 is John Donkel in the Ferrari. P9 then is the Haas of Paul Correa, so Donkel in a bit of a Haas sandwich, so to speak. And Williams Marcel Droning is in P10. Then in P11 we do have Sander Hermans back, was leading this race, lost connection, went on to AI, lost a number of places, came into the pits, reassumed, and now he's having to battle his way through the field again to try and see if he can try and come back on there. Obviously that's the reason why he went on to those softs. Then we have Hans van der Berg, and Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso. He's currently in that P12 position after that incident he had early on where he went off and, I've got to say, I think unsafe entry and affected a number of drivers there. Mark Stappers in the Ferrari, he's in P13. Then we have P14, our new driver, and that's Ari. That's right, isn't it? Ari.
Ari, yeah.
Ari, sorry, Ari, as in RE. I did RE at school, but never mind. So Ari Kopp is in the Racing Point, second race for Ari this season. So new driver, rookie driver, he's in that Racing Point and he's in P14. Then in P15 we have Guido Urshan. Oh, it's not been a pleasant race for him, but we'll come back to that in a second. And then we have Miguel Torney and Yul Tyson, who both DNF. Yul Tyson DNFing from the the front. He was leading this race and then went out on the exit of Ascari and basically panned that Mercedes.
Yeah, pretty much. And if there's one corner where such a skilled driver is going to lose it, it's going to be Ascari.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to have a quick look here on Den Brian. He's actually just coming to one. He's really hassling Visser. Visser's got ahead of him again. So that fight is still going on there. Oh dear, he's got a bad exit, and now Boy Williamson's got past him, and unfortunately he went onto the dirt, picked up the dirt, couldn't get the grip down, and Boy Williamson's got past Den Brian as well. And now look at this, Davey Harmon's challenging him as well as they come down to second Ascari. He's got some serious dirt on those wheels. He doesn't want to push it, does he?
I'm not sure what's. I think there might be a problem with the Brian's car or his
no, he just
situation.
picked up a load of dirt. Look, see? He's trying to get the dirt. He can't really lay down the power because he needs to get that dirt off those tyres. He went onto the dirt out of the first Ascari, and that's just not helped him.
Just out of turn 2, I think it was. I saw him pull over to the right and it looked like he let Boy pass.
No, he did because he just didn't want to lay down too much power. I think those tyres were so dirty that it just would have spun him out if he'd laid down the power.
Yeah, Nishe's gone past as well.
Nishe has now got past him, but Den Brian isn't going to let him be there for long, I can assure you. Watch this now as they come into Parabolica. I'm sure that Den Brian is not going to be a slouch. He's saying that no, he's into the pits. He's into the pits. So he does have some issue. Has he got front wing damage on there? Let's have a look as he comes into the pits. We'll stay with him.
Sorry, the battle going for P7. John Donkel defending against Carré. There's a three-way.
Yeah, it's a new nose. Yeah, it's a new nose for Den Brian. And oh, look at it! Contact, Paul Carré there on John Donkel. Marcel Dronig just sitting in the background, just having a good old look, see what these two guys are in front. But Paul Carré, I said he's come back. He has gone super aggressive. I think it's safe to say, isn't it?
He's certainly cranked up the aggression since the last couple of times we've seen him out on track. But
yeah. He has definitely cranked it up, I've got to say. Yeah, maybe a bit of red mist going on. Donkel just hitting the dirt there out of 7, but Poiré is definitely zoning in on him. But equally, Marcel Trodig is zoning in on the back of Poiré. Look at this. He's really looking to make a move there. Coming through Ascari. Poiré is definitely going to be challenging Donkel as soon as he can. He's going to probably do it on the exit on that DRS if he can stay with him. Dronig's just doing his thing there, isn't he? Let's see what happens. I'm sure I can take advantage here. There we go. Yeah, he's going to get past. Oh, Donkel coming back, nearly goes into Dronig there as he loses it around Parabolica, goes very wide. Dronig backs off, let Donkel through.
A good anticipation from Droning. He was ready for Donkel to sort of spin in front of him. He just eased up a bit, pulled over slightly, and didn't need to. But he was ready for sort of anything to happen.
Well, Correa has got past Donkel, and I think, to be brutally honest, I think it's only a question of time before Droning gets past him as well. Look at this, they're coming down to the second Varianti now. And Droning there, but look who's behind Droning. Looking a little sneaky peek between the two cars, it's Sander Hermans. So Droning gets past Donkel. Now Sander Hermans is going to be looking to get past him as well.
Yeah, this is
it's been fighting all the way, I think. I don't think there's been one bit where we haven't seen somebody fighting someone on this damn track.
No, this has gone past Williamson, by the way.
He has.
P2. Oh,
he's come back. He's come back, and now he's gone past him. Now he's come back again. Sorry, there's got to be a bit of a fight going on between these two. Look at this. Three abreast as they're coming down the straight. Three abreast. Davey Hartman's got through both of them. That is amazing. Look at that. They were three abreast there. Davey Hartman just goes through the two of them there. So he now jumps up into P2. Boy Williamson is second, and Nicky Visser is fourth.
That was amazing. At one point, I thought, we've seen the Red Bulls, switch positions intentionally many times this season. I thought we were going to see the same here, but then Damie Harmon, in the Toro Rosso, just appeared from behind and just squeezed between the two of them.
Yeah,
amazing.
That was a great run there. So, I'm trying to keep track of where this movement is, but there's so much movement in this field at the moment. It's amazing. And Silderwet still leading the way. He's in P1. That still remains the same, at least. Damie Hartman in the Toro Rosso is now up to P2, but remember, he is on those soft compound tyres. We are now officially halfway through this race, lap 26 of 53. I say we're halfway because we're most of the way round lap 26, so that is definitely halfway through the race. And this halfway point, but we haven't stopped. I mean, there's been something going on all the time. And now came to Peter Phillips, he's closing down on the back of Nische. And then we've got Xander Hermans closing down on the back of Marcel Droning, his teammate, as they're coming into Parabolica.
And it looks like Boyd's got past as well.
Yeah, and Boyd has got past Davey Hartman. And that's into first Variante. Yeah. And that's our RE just moving across. Got to remember RE, not Ari. So RE moving across. But Davey's coming back into the second Ascari. He takes his nose ahead, gets ahead of Boyd Williamson. Look at that. Nice run there. Damie Hartman gets it back again.
Constant back and forth between you.
There is, but interestingly, Damie's on the softs and Boyd's on the medium. So Damie really needs to pull out the stops and get as far ahead as this Red Bull as he possibly can, but he doesn't seem to be quite doing it at the moment. 3-second time penalty for John Donkel in the Ferrari, and John Donkel trying to get back on Marcel Droning. I think that's why he exceeded the track limits there. But yeah, Boyd Williamson, Damie Hartman, this is quite a fight going on here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for Damie to pull away. He hasn't got much in the engine at the moment. He used quite a lot to make the move in the first place. I think Boyd will easily get him here, but then Damie will surely come back into turn 4 again.
Yeah, but to be brutally honest, mate, I think they're both using up the ERS. Boyd was definitely using up there. Damie now is starting to replenish, as is Boyd, but there is a difference, but there's not a huge amount of difference in their ERS allocation at this moment in time. I'd agree with that. Which means that Visser has an opportunity to try and catch up a little bit. He's on very worn tyres. Well, he's on 26 laps. I mean, these should go. They should go, I would say, to the low 30s. I think he'd want to try and push them to the mid-30s if he can. I don't know if he's going to be able to, because he's had to put a lot of work into those tyres to get through the field and get that position, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, and Damie Hartman again getting ahead of Boyd Williamson just as they come into the Ascari. Now you're going to see, obviously, Boyd Williamson coming back at him.
Boyd's a bit wide.
Look at this. He's got it. Got a great exit there. He takes the place back. They're side by side now as they're coming into Parabolica. And Damie gets his nose ahead, but is Boyd going to have the advantage on the exit? Look at this, he's so close in behind him there. Does get the advantage, gets past him, but now they're side by side practically. No, you guys got ahead of him. So
Nicky's
Boyd Williamson gets ahead. Nicky's now into the pits. Now that's interesting. That's off 27 laps. Silderwet is on 28 laps now. I'm wondering, is Nicky trying to do an undercut? He's serving that penalty now, is he?
He's on mediums again. Nicky's on mediums again.
So he's going to the end of this race on those mediums then?
No, he can't. He started on mediums. So he has to stop again.
Do you want to check his allocation? Because I think he has gone on softs.
Stand by.
I think he was on softs at the start.
Oh, apologies, was on softs.
Yeah. So he can take that medium to the end. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be a question now of what DeWitt does. I mean, DeWitt is only 2.1, and this is the thing, there isn't much of a gap between these guys. So these pit stops and strategies are really going to play a major part in this race.
Yeah, big time. And look, you've got Phillips and Correa, the two asses, in 5th and 6th as well.
Yeah.
At this halfway point.
And this is a fantastic result for Haas. I mean, if they maintain those places, there's some serious points Haas will be taking away today.
That's quite right. Serious points for Renault as well. Still DeWitt doing a fantastic job out in the lead at the moment as he comes in.
DeWitt comes in. 1.584 seconds was the gap to Williamson. Williamson. Damie Hartman now makes the move on Williamson. Gets into that P1 position. Williamson drops into 2nd. Nishay is now in 3rd. Peter Phillips is now 4th. 5th is Paul Correa. Then Zander Hermans is in 6th, and Cyril DeWitt comes out in 7th place, just behind Zander Hermans.
Now he's come out on soft tyres. Is he expecting those softs to do 23 laps? We haven't seen anyone go that far on a set of softs so far.
We've seen him go 18, and that was basically a full fuel load. So I think he could, but I think he's going to be pushing the limits.
Yeah.
I think DeWitt can do those 23 laps, but I think he will be pushing the limits. And it all depends how much clean air he gets as well, effectively. It's going to be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Zander Hermans, he's on 14-lap-old softs. He's in 6th. Paul Correa, 14-lap-old softs. He's in 5th. Peter Phillips, 15-lap-old softs. He's in 4th. So those guys will come in again. Nishai Mahadol Singh, he's on 14-lap-old mediums. He's got 23 laps remaining. Same situation as what we saw Dembrain earlier on. Don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. Boy Williamson, he's on 10-lap-old mediums, so he's only got 22 laps to go. He can go to the end, I think, on those medium tyres.
Yes, I think you might be right. I think it'll be difficult, but I
don't know. I think it can be done. I think it's within the window. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. Okay.
The one that I'm more concerned though is Damie Hartman, because Damie Hartman, he's on 9-lap-old softs. He's going to have to come in. Hartman did start on the medium tyres, so he can come in and go on to another set of softs.
Yes.
That being the case, he's going to come in. Yeah, he's going to come in round about lap 40, isn't he?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. So 11 more, 9 more laps. That put him. Means he'll have completed 18 on that set.
Yeah.
Leaving him 13 or so to go. Yeah, he might not even leave it as late as 40. He might come in a couple of laps earlier and even out the wear.
Right. Okay. I want to try and make some sense of this, which is difficult because it's been absolutely mad, this race. So let's quickly go through the field. Okay. So Ari Cobb, second race. 15, he hasn't DNF'd, that's a plus. He's in P15 at the moment, he's out of the points, but there's still potential. I mean, we've got 21 laps remaining, and as we well know, anything can happen, can't it?
Absolutely, and a lot of these sort of goals of these races for the drivers in their infancy in their career, it just revolves around completing races. Just get those laps under your belt, and then the points will come, and then the podiums will come, and then the wins will come.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is all about getting used to the league, the drivers around you, as you quite rightly pointed out there, Adrian. That is important. Is knowing what these guys around you could do, potentially do, or what they might do. So there is that sort of element to it as well. So early doors, but not a bad start, I certainly think, from Ari there. Not doing too bad at all. Guido Urshan, I was going to come on to this. It's not gone his way so far, has it?
It hasn't really, no. He had an incident very early on. And I don't think he's really sort of recovered from that.
It definitely cost him. Obviously, he got that front wing damage with Van der Berg coming back onto the track, took out his front wing, he had to come in. But as you say, he hasn't really recovered from that. He's on the softs, obviously went onto the softs to try and see if he could come, sort of work by his way through. He is in clean air, so he can probably put down some good times, but he just doesn't seem to have the feel at the moment in that McLaren. You can see there was a little bit of a twitch there as well as he was coming out the second Variante there. I don't think he's quite got the setup that he would ideally want at this moment in time.
No. There's something not quite right, is there?
Yeah, definitely not. But again, still potential. You know, anything can happen. And to be perfectly honest, it normally does. Then we got Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso. Now, Hans van der Berg, obviously, very competent driver. He showed his colours certainly in season 5, and we earmarked him as a future driver. But he's had a very up and down season. He's either up there or he's down there. There doesn't seem to be any in between so far this season.
Yeah, I think he's more of a sort of a bit more well-rounded driver this season than he was last season. Tend to sort of go flat out for very long periods until he went in, you know, either into a wall or his tyres just disintegrated, or it'd be something like that. Couldn't really pace himself last season, but doing that much better this season. Won at Monaco as well, don't forget.
Yes, he did.
It's his first win, and but like you said, he hasn't really done much since then or before then.
He's there, he's there, but he's just, how can I put it? Last season it was just like you said, all flat out. This season's a little bit more rounded, but he still hasn't quite formed his racing persona on track as yet, as he's not quite there yet. But but it will be. This is the thing. I know it will be, and when it is, he is going to be something to watch out for in this league, isn't he?
Yeah, something else to watch out for. Sander Herman's just passing Ray down the start and finish there, just while we're going through the drivers.
Just made the move there, on Paul Perret. Nicely done, easily done there. So that's Hans van der Berg. Marcel Dronig, he's in a P11 at this moment in time. Again, not quite gone the way he wanted. He was right up there at one point, and certainly with the pit stops and etc. But he had fought his way through, dropped back again. But I don't think he's going to be staying in that P11 place for too long, because he's on a nice fresh set of mediums. Obviously that's where he's come out, but he's going to be going through that field, and I suspect he's going to be getting probably get up to around about P8.
I was about to say P7, but yes, he will definitely be gaining a few places. He and John Donkel both came in the same lap, actually.
Yeah, so that's Marcel Droning again, expected to get into the points there. Then we have Mark Stappers. Now Mark Stappers, hardcore racer, as we pointed out before, no assists, cockpit view. He's all about the sim experience here with F1 tonight and on the 2019 version of the game. He's always there, but again, I don't know, there is something, I find something amazing. When Stappers is amazing, he's truly amazing. But I don't know what it is. I think there's so much there that he can give, but it just doesn't seem to quite sort of deliver. And I wonder if it's, this sort of hardcore, experience that he's going for. I'm wondering if he wouldn't be better sort of just scaling it back a bit, maybe. I don't know.
I think we've seen. Well, I've seen Stappers race. About something like 50 races now since I started commentating. And I think, knowing him, I know him sort of fairly well by now. I think he would rather continue to have that sort of full sim experience, with the all the realism of the cockpit view and no assists, etc., etc. I think he'd rather have that over sort of picking up wins. I think he just enjoys racing more than he enjoys winning.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think that's a good response there, and that actually makes a lot of sense, to be quite honest with you. So that's Stappers. He's got Droning zoning down on the back of him, so he'll be changing pretty soon. Bryan is in P9. Now he's come out. He went on to a fresh set of mediums. That's 12 laps to go now. We said he could potentially go to the end, but that would be 39 laps. But I'm looking at it and looking at what other guys have performed, and I don't know. I think that's just a step too far. I don't think he's going to be able to make it to the end on these mediums.
Well, it'll be difficult. That sort of goes without saying, really. But I mean, if they, like I said earlier on, if there's one man who can do it, it will be Baz.
Yeah, definitely. He's in the points. He's in P9 at this moment in time. He's certainly going to be looking to try and get ahead of that. He's 5.6 seconds at the moment off the back of Paul Querret. What a race from the Haas guys. Querret, he's in P8. I mean, he has been racing well, as we commented on. We've seen quite a lot of aggression from him, certainly during this race, and there is definitely more race aggression. I think he's sort of probably calmed down a little bit now, but we'll see how that goes when he gets in close. He's zoning in on the back of Sander Hermans at this moment in time, but yeah, he's really coming together, as we said during the qualifying as well. He just seems to come alive, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think Gray just set out with a goal to just go for every overtake that he's that presents itself. Oh, Hans Vanderberg's retired, sorry.
Yeah.
And Mark Stapper's.
Oh, they have. That's got to be an incident. Let's have a look.
They've both gone off together.
Yeah, and that was I think that's out of Ascari. Sorry, I was just
Parabolica, that is.
Parabolica.
Yeah, just on the entrance.
Against Parabolica. So Stappers and Hans Vanderberg have gone out. Now I would suspect there must have been some contact for the two drivers to go out there.
Yeah, I certainly imagine so. Bit of a coincidence that they both went off together at the same corner and made contact.
Yeah, chances are there has been contact, and obviously whatever their feeds will be reviewed. So that's Mark Stappers and Hans Vanderberg have gone out. Let's go on board with Harry, see if we can actually see their cars.
Damie's in the pit. Damie's in the pit, by the way, just while that's going on.
So Damien has come into the pits. He's going on to the softs. And as you said, he's coming a little bit before that lap 40. So that gives him 16 laps to do on those soft compound tyres. Can't see those two cars as Harry comes round now down to the Parabolica. See, I doubt we'll see them on the track.
Damie
just getting past lapping.
Sorry, Eddie, Damie's come out ahead of still the bit.
Wow, now that is important.
Yeah, so that means that Damie can sort of comfortably use those tyres to the end of the race. Still will want to try and use these tyres to the end of the race, but he's gonna find it difficult. I don't think he's going to be able to pass Damie.
Well, Sil DeWitt, he's on 8 lap old, so they're 8 laps older than Damie's tyres. He's already 2.3, 2.4 it will be soon. Yeah, and so Damie is definitely pulling away from him, and he's closing down now on second place.
The two Hasleys coming together in turn 5, I think that was.
Yeah.
Paul Querret again with with the aggression. He's taken no prisoners, not even his teammates.
So second variante contact there between the two Hasleys as Querret moves up into P6. Now Peter Phillips is under pressure from Sander Hermans, because remember, Paul Querret was behind Sander Hermans, so he actually got past the two of them there. So yeah, he's definitely going for it. I mean, it's working for him, although I think he has to maybe dial it back just a little bit. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't like to sort of suggest things like that, because we do like racing. We'd rather see racing than drivers just following each other for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, this is a contention that happens in the real world as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is.
I know that, if I'm just trying to think what his initials are. Contact there with Hermans. Oh, dearie me!
Big collision.
Sander Hermans makes contact with the back of Querret as he's coming down into the first variante. Takes out his front left completely. All the end plate and winglets. He's still got the actual main board on there, but that's about it. And Peter Phillips, he's just sort of, I'll hold back, because this guy is not in a good mood. This guy's not going to go, I'll just hold back.
Yeah. Oh, I'll back. Wait till he makes a boo-boo and then I'll get ahead of him. So Zada Hermans is, the red mist has descended on Hermans, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't have thought Ferreira was totally innocent in that either.
Well, yeah, but this is what we were saying. Obviously, you're saying, I want to see the racing, I want to see that aggression. I totally agree. But I think there's a fine line sometimes, and that's the difference. There is a very fine line between inspired overtakes and what the hell I'm coming through overtakes. In my opinion.
So elbows out and all that.
Yeah. So. We'll see what happens. Herman's obviously coming into the pits. Peter Phillips will take a 7th place. Paul Correa is in 6th. Nishay is now in 5th, as Nicky Visser did get past him. So Nicky
he was in the pit. No, sorry, Nishay was in the pit.
Oh, he was in the pits. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, sorry, he is. Yeah, that's right, because he's on fresh tyres. That's right. So that's why Nicky's just got past him. And Boy Williamson, obviously. Sil DeWitt now is as we know, in 2nd place. He's 5 seconds now behind Danny Hartman. And Damie Hartman is leading this race on a lovely fresh set of red wall tyres, and he's only got 13 laps to go. Not bad.
Yeah, it's looking good for him. I think the only thing that can make it better for Damie is if something happens to Visser. Visser was running quite low down about 20 laps ago. He was down in sort of P12, P11. But he's managed to sort of fight his way back up the grid, and again, it's damage limitation for the championship leader.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, to be fair, I think Damie at this moment in time, as it looks, is looking pretty safe for the win here at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Sealed with it behind him will be just hoping and praying that something does happen to the Toro Rosso ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, to be fair, I mean, DeWitt, he's still going to be picking up some damn good points in that 2nd place, isn't he?
Yep. Oh, yeah, certainly. Yeah, I don't think he'll be too saddened by finishing runner-up in this race.
No, definitely not. And, still be picking up some valuable championship points for his Drivers' Championship and pushing him forward once again. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Boy Williamson, obviously in that 3rd place. I'm just wondering how safe, but that is pretty safe. I mean, I can't see Visser. I mean, Visser's 3 seconds off the back of him, but he's on the medium tyres and they're 12 laps old.
Yeah.
I don't really see that he's going to be able to do much unless Boy either gives it to him or makes a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be under any sort of pressure from Visser, but DeWitt will be under pressure from Williamson in the next few laps, I'd imagine. Williamson is gaining rapidly. Just set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. Only a couple of tenths off of that pace on this lap. He's gaining about 1.5 seconds per lap on Sil.
You can now see Haas ahead of him, which is between him and Sil DeWitt. And I think that's Peter Phillips. That's Peter Phillips there. So this is F1 tonight, Netherlands, and we are here at the iconic track of Monza here in Italy for season 6, round 14, and it's been go all the way, this, hasn't it? I don't think we've had too much of a sort of a lull at all, because there seems to be an awful lot happening on this track, and we've only got 11 laps to go. It's zooming past.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's right. But I mean, it really is. I mean, okay, Damie Hartman looking good, but Boy Williamson, as you said, look at this. He's already on the back of Sil DeWitt. Now, what does DeWitt do? There's not an awful lot he can do, really, is there?
Not really. He can't really defend against the ERS with the ERS as well, and yeah, that's unavoidable.
Boy Williamson now gets ahead of Sil DeWitt. Sil DeWitt dropping down into... oh dear, he's gone straight on. What's he doing?
I'm not too sure.
Or am I? He's lost it there. why didn't he just continue straight on the tarmac rather than go onto the grass? I'll figure that one out. So that was a bit bizarre. He's now lost that third place to Nicky Visser. So Nicky Visser has now moved up to third. I bet if Nicky's got a big old smile on his face, he won't be asking, oh, why did he do that? He'll just be saying, oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Another double podium for Red Bull. In a race where both drivers have suffered 5-second stop goes for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And also a little bit of contact. Well, not a little bit of contact. Obviously, Visser had to come in and get a new nose as well.
Yeah, I mean,
and he started at the back of the grid.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good race by any means for the Red Bulls, and yet somehow they're second and third.
Yeah, it's amazing. As I say, I mean, Nicky Visser, back of the grid, lost a nose, and he's 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but he's still up in P3.
Yeah.
So
see, that's why they are leading the Constructors' Championship, because even when all these things happen to them, they're still able to find themselves in podium positions.
Yeah, and it's all a question of just like never give up. I mean, it's just keep fighting all the way, and that's what these boys deliver, isn't it? This Red Bull team, obviously they were paired up last season in season 5 in the Mercedes and performed very well, didn't get the championship, but this season that pairing has just been a dream pairing, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You can see that they're very communicative, sort of with each other, sharing setups and advice during the race and such.
So, fantastic result there from them. I mean, up onto podium finishes, both of them. Let's have a look through the field as it stands. So, DNFs, we have Yul Tyson, who went out from the lead of the race in the Mercedes, Miguel Torni in the Alfa Romeo, Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso, and Mark Stappers in the Ferrari. We think that may have been a coming together of those guys around Parabolica. Who does that leave? Well, that leaves at this moment in time in P13 is R.E. Kopp, the rookie driver to F1 tonight, so he's currently in P13. P12, Guido Urshan, and really hasn't gone Guido's way at this moment. 16.5 seconds off the back of Zander Hermans. I've got to say, chances are, if he carries on like this, he will go to the end of the race. He's not someone to quit either, but unfortunately it doesn't look like he's going to be picking up any points this evening. P11, Zander Hermans, and it hasn't been Zander's night, has it, to be fair?
No. It was great for the first, I think it was about 15 laps or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then what happened? And then his connection, he lost connection to the race.
He dropped out.
And then
started losing places hand over fist from leading the race.
That's right, because what the AI does, of course, is it brakes very early into every corner. And you do that on this circuit, and you're just going to lose so much time. And he lost 5 places within about 10 or 15 seconds. Yeah. And then it was a sort of recovery drive from then, but then he pushed too hard and lost it at Ascari. And then had a collision as well with Paul Carey. It just hasn't been a good race.
The red mist came down. I think the frustration came out. And that's what's cost him basically. Unfortunately, that's Zander Hermans there, and I've got to be honest, can't see that progressing too much further. It all depends what happens ahead, obviously. His teammate though, Marcel Dronig, again, it hasn't had the race that I think he would have liked to have had, but that said, at least he's in the points. Okay, it's one championship point, but at least he's in the points.
Yeah, quite right. And this is the thing that we tried to sort of encourage in both F1 Tonight, Netherlands and in the UK, is that we want drivers to finish races, regardless of where you are in the race. What's happened to you, just finish the race. Make it to the end, because you never know what's going to happen. Dronic's just gone up to 9th, by the way.
He has.
Debreen's just come in.
Debreen's come into the pits as we thought. He couldn't last on that. He has come off those mediums, gone onto a set of softs with 7 laps remaining. So he did 32 laps on those mediums, which I think is the highest that I've seen so far, certainly.
Yes.
So on that basis, Marcel Dronig now moves up to P9. That's going to be an extra point for him, but he's going to have to watch out because he does have Debray. But Debray, 17.5 seconds, 6 laps. I think that's a big ask.
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll see how that pans out. P8 is John Donkel. Again, John, we haven't really seen much of John other than a little bit of contact and fracas and a little bit of overtaking, not from him, but from drivers around him. He's in that P8 position. I think he'll be reasonably happy with that. I don't think Monza, funnily enough, even though he's in a Ferrari, is one of his favourite tracks.
It doesn't seem like it, no. I think the circuit is too. I said earlier on, I don't like using the word easy, but because it hasn't got those difficult corners. You've got a lot more sort of competition from the other drivers. Because sort of everybody can do the track well, if that makes sense.
Yes and no. I understand where you're coming from. I think it does have difficult corners. I think the difficulty of this track is that they can be easy if you get them right. And I know that sounds a bit obvious, but when you're looking at the variantes, as I said to you earlier, I hate the first variante. 8 times out of 10, I'm going to miss the braking point or the turning point. Second variante, I'm okay on, not so bad. Love Lesmo, love Ascari, love Parabolica. And the thing with this track is it's all about the entry into the corner, because what you're looking for is the acceleration out of those corners. And if you can get that right on this track, you will fly. And I think that's where the difficulty comes in.
That is spot on analysis there. It's all about the exit speed of the corners, because it has such an impact on your speed at the end of the next straight.
Yeah, and that's what makes the difference. So John Donkel, he's in that P8 position. P7 is Peter Phillips in the Haas. Great run from him, solid run from him. Phillips always there. We always make comment. Phillips always there till the end, and he's starting to pay dividends, I think. It's going to be interesting to see how Haas progress for the rest of this season now, because they seem to have found, some new inspiration somehow.
Yeah, and a bit of stability as well with their driving. I know we said Paul Gray is a little bit aggressive, but to be fair, they're both there 6 and 7, and they do keep finishing races.
Yeah, absolutely, couldn't agree more, mate. That is very, very true. And they are finishing races, and they are accruing the points, and that's what makes a difference. I mean, they're going to be picking up some valuable points today. P7 for Peter Phillips, and then Paul Quaret in P6. So, combined, they're going to be hitting double digits, I think, aren't they? Yeah, they will be.
Yes, 14 points.
Yeah. So, 14 points for Haas as it stands at this moment in time. Paul Quaret is in that P6 place. I don't know, is that the best position he's had? I don't know, actually. I think he has had better, isn't he?
Quaret, passed at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. But anyway, he's in P6 at this moment in time. P5 is Nishay Mahadwa Singh. Solid race from Nishay. He's had a few little hiccups, a few little sort of wobbly moments, let us say. But overall, again, new to F1 tonight this season. And although he started a little bit earlier than the Sil DeWitt, his teammate, he's really coming together nicely, isn't he?
Yes, big time. He's becoming a more, I said it earlier on, more developed driver, and he's just learning. He's learning all the time.
Yeah, and I mean he's got that qualification, I think, pretty much sorted out. He's setting some great qualification times. Always generally now getting into that Q3 as well, isn't he?
Yeah, had a bit of a sort of mistake in Q3 of this race. Of course qualifying. But I think generally speaking, his qualifying pace is top notch.
Absolutely. And his teammate, again, obviously, Renault will be taking away some very valuable points. from the team championship point of view. Sil de Wit, he's in 4th place. Bit of an odd one earlier on with regards to Nicky Visser when they were coming into that first variante where he just went straight ahead. I think he just missed it and was a little bit, I don't know, probably a little bit cheesed off, but he lost the place there. He was looking at that P3. He's now down to P4. He's 12.4 seconds off the back of Nicky Visser. 3 laps remaining. Unless something majorly happens ahead of him, that's where he's going to stay, isn't it, P4?
Yeah, I'd have thought so. I don't think he's in much danger of losing a place or of gaining a place. I said it was a bit strange. Going sort of straight on at 1. I'm sure we'll find out at some point what happened there. What the
issue was. Yeah, so clearly there was some sort of issue.
But aside from that, I think he's had a pretty much flawless race here. Apart from his little mishap at Ascari, lost a few places there, although managed to hold on to the car, importantly.
Yeah, that is very true.
I think if not for that,
we've seen a few wobbles from some of the drivers, but remember, Sil de Wit did start, obviously, on that pole. So he has dropped down 3 places, so I don't think he's going to be happy with that. He's going to be a little bit more disappointed he didn't get on the podium, but combined, the points, very valuable for Renault.
Yes, absolutely. 22 points there for Renault if they do manage to hold on to 4th and 5th.
I agree with you.
Really good stuff.
Then we come obviously on to Nicky Visser, and the reason I changed obviously onto where they started is Nicky Visser, P3, pole position, and he started, lest we forget, in P14.
Yeah, we weren't even sure if he was going to be making the race, hence why he crashed out, because he thought he'd have to sort of drop out for sort of personal reasons or things going on. But yeah, apparently he was able to participate and has done so from 14th place and has managed to grab a podium in a race where his closest rival is actually winning the race.
Yeah, I mean that is some going. I've got to say, it's just a measure of how Nicky Visser has been this season. He's, I remember, we've commented earlier on in the season that season 5 was not his season. We could see, obviously, quality driver, great ability, but, all the luck he had last season was bad luck in season 5. All the luck he's had this season, season 6, seems to be the absolute opposite of that.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably about 30% luck and 70% just raw skill. In all fairness, because he is, as you said, a quality driver, and even in the races this season that he hasn't won, he's still managed to, finish 5th, 4th, 3rd, and that is why he's still leading the championship, and will still be leading the championship after this race. Yeah,
absolutely, couldn't agree more. So that's Nicky Visser, current championship leader. He's in 3rd place. Then we come on to his teammate, Boy Williamson. And Boy did start in 3rd place, so he has moved up 1 position. He's into that P2. It's looking pretty solid, I've got to say. I don't think there's going to be too much that's going to happen with that. So, solid one from there. Good solid race from him. I mean, we haven't sort of been focusing a hell of a lot. He's had a few battles here and there. He has fought hard, fought well, and this is the end result of it, isn't it, really? He's just maintained those places.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want from a teammate. Actually, is someone who is gonna be up there at the start and up there at the end. Started 3rd, finished 2nd, or still got 1 more lap to go. But he's certainly no number 2 driver. I think he will be a champion at some point. He has won races, one at Silverstone, of course, and he's won many before that as well. I think his time will also come.
I tend to agree with you. We are now on board with Damie Hartman, our race leader, and soon to be our race winner as he comes round the final corner of Parabolica, and Damie Hartman takes the win here at Monza
for this round 14 Italian Grand Prix of season 6 for F1 Tonight. Boy Williamson comes in second. Nicky Visser crosses the line in third. What a fantastic result. Fourth. Oh, look at this. The two Renaults side by side as they come round Parabolica. And Nische gets ahead of Sil de Witt. What a fantastic move there. Nische takes fourth place. Sil de Witt takes fifth. Paul Quaret just coming round Parabolica now. He will take sixth place. I'm not too sure whether he might get seventh because I think he's got penalty points. I don't know how many penalty points Peter Phillips has got. So Paul Quaret could actually take seventh and Peter Phillips could take sixth. Yes, he does. And in fact, Paul Quaret drops down to 8 with those penalty points. John Donkel takes 7. So Peter Phillips takes 6. John Donkel 7. 8 is Paul Quaret. 9 is Marcel Dronig. And crossing the line 10, I think he's going to be disappointed. Basden Brand, don't know quite what happened there. Zander Hermans will finish in 11th place. 12th was Guido Erschein. And 13 was Ari. Ari Kopp completed his first race. Well done, Ari.
Congrats, Ari.
Congratulations, sir. Well, I've got to say, that was a really fantastic race. And the guy's on the podium now. And Damie's going to be happy with that, isn't he? He is definitely going to be happy with that.
Yeah, he knew what he had to do. He took to sort of keep his championship alive, and he did exactly that. And again, that's why he's a deserving reigning champion.
A deserved winner. Here's the one. I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Boy Williamson obviously taking that second place, and Nicky Visser taking third. Well, that was F1 Tonight, Netherlands. And that was a race, or round 14 of season 6. What a fantastic race it was. Actually, just quickly cut back there to the feed, and as you can see, Damie Hartman there, 2 stops. Boy Williamson, 2 stops. Nicky Visser, though, I mean, amazing run. And driver of the day, I think we're agreed on that, aren't we, Adrian?
Yeah, 100%. 100% goes to Nicky for that, yeah. Fantastic performance.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing race from Nicky. Well done to him. Nische Mahadwa Singh coming in 4th. Sil de Witt 5th. 6, Peter Phillips. 7, John Donkel. Paul Quaret 8. 9, Marcel Dronig. 10, Basden Brain. 11, Zander Hermans. 12, Guido Erschen. 13, Ari Kopp. Mark Stappers. Hans van der Berg. Miguel Torney. Yul Tyson. All DNF'd. Next week. And where are we next week, Adrian?
I always get confused around this time of the year. So is it Singapore? I think it's Singapore is next. Round 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was only asking you because I had absolutely no idea, and I thought I'd catch you out.
It's only because I checked the WhatsApp, though.
Yeah, that's it. I was desperately trying to find it as well. So we are in Singapore. It will not be next week because next week it's the holidays in Netherlands. So happy holidays for those of you next week in the Netherlands who are watching. So there will not be an F1 Tonight Netherlands stream on Thursday night. However, on Tuesday night, we will have F1 Tonight UK racing here at Monza. So that starts at 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. That's just this coming Tuesday. Next Thursday, we will not be there. And then the following Tuesday, we will be with the UK guys again. And that will be at Singapore. And on the Thursday, we will then be on the following Thursday at Singapore with the Netherlands guys. I know there's a few changes to the calendar. We might well post it up just to make sure, because there's a few. The UK guys overtake, and then the Netherlands guys come back at Christmas time. So that's how it's going to work, basically. So we hope that you've enjoyed it. Please don't forget, if you're watching the stream, hit the like button. If you've made comments, thank you very much. That is something that we are working on, and we will have people dedicated to responding to you in the comments and getting a little bit more action happening there. If you like what you've seen and you're new to F1 Tonight, please do subscribe. If you'd like to know more, do have a look at our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages. And by all means, do contact us on Xbox Live as well. Adrian, anything you'd like to add, sir, before we close?
Only a quick huzzah to to Dan, who I know is watching this. Has been watching the whole race, I think. So,
fantastic,
huzzah, Dan.
Fantastic. Well, Dan, if you're watching the whole race, guess who's going to get voted to keep an eye on the YouTube comments and keep putting stuff up there. Yes, well guessed, Dan. Very good. Well done. Yes, it is you, but never mind. So we hope you've enjoyed it. That only leaves me now to say good night and arrivederci.
And good night from me.
Good night, everyone. Take care.